Vanessa Sterling unscrewed the cap of the baby bottle and smiled. Her hands were steady, her heart was cold. She poured 3 drops of the clear liquid into her stepson's morning formula. She watched it dissolve. No color, no smell, no trace. The 8-month-old baby sleeping upstairs had no idea his stepmother had just signed his death warrant. She placed the bottle in the warmer and checked her watch. The nanny would be gone in 30 minutes. The cleaning lady wouldn't arrive until 7. By then, little Ethan would stop breathing, and Vanessa would inherit everything. She grabbed her purse and walked out the front door. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. By tonight, she would be a grieving widow's best friend. And a very, very rich woman. If you love stories that touch your heart and reveal the truth about human nature, subscribe to our channel and follow this story until the very end. Comment below with the city you're watching from. Let us see how far this story travels across the world. Maya Johnson's alarm went off at 4:30 in the morning. She was already awake. Had been since 3:15. The electricity bill sat on her nightstand like an accusation. $347. Due yesterday. She silenced the alarm and swung her legs off the bed. The floor was ice. The heat had been off for 2 weeks. She hadn't told her grandmother. Couldn't bear to see the worry in those old eyes. Maya walked to the bathroom. The bulb flickered. Once, twice, then held. She looked at herself in the cracked mirror. 32 years old. Dark skin her mother used to call midnight beautiful. Eyes that had seen too much. Hands that had worked too hard. Just another day, she told her reflection. Keep going. That's what Johnsons do. She dressed quickly. White shirt, black pants, $3 Goodwill shoes. Grabbed her cleaning supplies and headed for the door. Maya? She froze. Her grandmother's voice. Thin but sharp. Go back to sleep, Grandma. It's early. Come here, child. Maya sighed and pushed open Dorothy's door. Her grandmother sat up in bed, gray hair wrapped in silk eyes cutting through the darkness like headlights. You think I'm stupid? Dorothy asked. Grandma, I know there's no heat. I know you're paying my medical bills instead of your rent. I know you're eating 1 meal a day so I can have 3. Maya's throat tightened. I'm handling it. Sit down. I'll miss my bus. Sit down. Maya sat on the edge of the bed. Dorothy grabbed her hand. Her grip was weak but warm. The grip of a woman who had survived Jim Crow, buried a daughter, raised a granddaughter, and refused to break. I had a dream last night, Dorothy said. Maya felt ice crawl up her spine. Her grandmother's dreams were never just dreams. What kind of dream? Bad one? Real bad? Dorothy's eyes went distant. I saw a baby, couldn't breathe, turning blue. And I saw you, Maya, standing over that baby. Blood on your hands. Grandma, stop. You're scaring me. Good. You should be scared. Something's coming today. I feel it in my bones. Dorothy squeezed harder. Promise me you'll be careful. I promise. Promise me you'll listen to that voice inside you, the one I taught you to hear, the one your mama had before she passed. I promise, Grandma. Dorothy held her gaze for a long moment. Then she nodded. Go on then, but remember what I said. When trouble comes, don't think. Just act. That's what saved your cousin Darnell. That's what's going to save you. Maya kissed her grandmother's forehead and left. The bus came at 5:15. Maya climbed on and took her usual seat in the back. She watched the streets pass by. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Not the nice part. The part where people like her lived and worked and struggled and prayed for something better. She thought about Dorothy's dream. The baby turning blue. The blood on her hands. Nonsense. Just an old woman's fears. But Maya couldn't shake the feeling. The cold knot in her stomach that had been there since she woke up. Something was wrong. She just didn't know what yet. The bus dropped her in Greenwich at 6:30. She walked 20 minutes to the Sterling Mansion. 47 Millbrook Lane. 12 bedrooms. Pool house. Tennis court. Gardens that stretched forever. The kind of place that reminded you exactly where you stood in the world. Maya used her key at the service entrance. Stepped inside. And stopped. The house was silent. Not quiet. Silent. The kind of silence that presses against your eardrums. The kind that means something is very, very wrong. Maya stood in the entryway and listened. Usually by now she could hear the nanny in the kitchen, Mrs. Sterling barking orders upstairs, the baby crying or laughing or making the sounds babies make. Nothing. Hello, Maya called out. Her voice echoed off the marble floors. Mrs. Sterling, Brittany, anyone home? Nothing. Maya checked her phone. 6:47 a.m. She was supposed to start cleaning at 7:00. Maybe they were still asleep. Maybe they had gone somewhere early, but the silence felt wrong, heavy, like the air before a storm. Dorothy's voice echoed in her head. When trouble comes, don't think, just act. Maya grabbed her cleaning supplies and headed for the kitchen. That's where she always started. Counters, stove, floor, then living rooms, then upstairs. Routine, normal, safe. She pushed open the kitchen door. Her supplies clattered to the floor. The kitchen was spotless. Not a dish in the sink, not a crumb on the counter, not a single sign that anyone had been there that morning. Maya's heart started pounding. She had cleaned this kitchen 100 times. She knew what it looked like after breakfast. The coffee rings, the cereal bowls, the chaos of a wealthy family's morning routine. This wasn't right. Someone had cleaned. Recently. Thoroughly, like they were erasing evidence. Maya backed out of the kitchen. Her hands were shaking. Her grandmother's dream flashed through her mind again. A baby. Couldn't breathe. Turning blue. No? Maya whispered. Please, God, no. She ran for the stairs. Her footsteps echoed in the empty house. She took the stairs 2 at a time, her heart hammering against her ribs. Second floor, left turn, down the hallway. The nursery was at the end. Maya reached for the light switch, flicked it. Nothing happened. She tried again. Still nothing. The bulb wasn't out. She could see it in the fixture. Someone had unscrewed it. Just enough to break the connection. Why would someone do that unless they didn't want anyone to see? Maya walked down the dark hallway. Her eyes adjusted slowly. She could make out shapes. Doors. Picture frames. The end of the hallway where the nursery door stood slightly open. And then she heard it. A sound. Weak, barely there. Like someone gasping for air through a throat that wouldn't work. Maya ran. She burst through the nursery door and her heart stopped. Ethan was in his crib, not moving. His face was gray. His lips were blue. His tiny chest wasn't rising. No, Maya screamed. No, 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 no. She lunged for the crib and grabbed him. His body was limp, cold, wrong. Ethan, baby, wake up, wake up. Nothing, no response, no movement, no cry. Maya's mind went white, pure panic. She couldn't think, couldn't breathe, couldn't do anything except hold this dying baby in her arms. And then Dorothy's voice cut through the chaos. When trouble comes, don't think, just act. Darnell, her cousin Darnell, 20 years ago. He had gotten into something. Poison, chemicals, something bad. Everyone had panicked. Everyone had screamed. Except Grandma Dorothy. Dorothy had turned Darnell on his side, pressed on his stomach, made him throw up whatever was killing him, and saved his life. Maya looked at Ethan, at his blue lips, at his gray face. She didn't think. She just acted. She turned Ethan on his side, held him firmly, pressed on his tiny stomach. Come on, baby, come on, let it out. Nothing. She pressed again, harder, still nothing. Ethan, fight. Come on, baby, fight. She pressed a third time, everything she had, every ounce of strength in her body. Ethan coughed. It was weak, barely audible, but it was something. Maya kept going. She pressed again. Ethan coughed harder, and then he threw up. A clear liquid. Thick, strange. It smelled wrong, chemical, like something that belonged under a sink, not inside a baby. Maya didn't stop. She kept pressing, kept turning him, kept clearing his airway. And then Ethan cried. The sound shattered the silence like glass. A baby's cry, angry, scared, alive. Maya pulled him to her chest and sobbed. Tears streaming down her face, body shaking so hard she could barely stand. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I've got you. You're safe now. You're safe. Ethan's crying grew stronger. His color was coming back. His body was warming against hers. He was alive. Maya had saved him. But as she stood there, holding this baby who had been seconds from death, she saw something that made her blood turn to ice. A baby bottle on the floor, half empty, rolled under the rocking chair. Maya stared at it. Babies don't just stop breathing. Not like that. Not without a reason. Someone had done this. Someone had poisoned this baby's bottle. Someone had tried to murder an 8-month-old child, and Maya had just stepped into the middle of it. She grabbed her phone with one hand, still holding Ethan with the other, and dialed 911. 911, what's your emergency? I need an ambulance. A baby has been poisoned. 47 Millbrook Lane, Greenwich. He's alive, but I don't know for how long. Please hurry. Ma'am, stay on the line. Help is on the way. Can you tell me what happened? I found him in his crib. He wasn't breathing. His face was blue. I made him throw up, and something came out. Something chemical. There's a bottle on the floor. I think the poison was in the bottle. Don't touch the bottle, ma'am. Is the baby breathing now? Yes, he's crying. He's alive. Keep him awake, keep him calm. Ambulance will be there in 5 minutes. Maya hung up and walked to the rocking chair. She sat down and held Ethan close. He was looking at her now, big blue eyes, scared but alert. "I've got you," she whispered. "I'm not letting go, not ever." Ethan reached up with his tiny hand and grabbed her finger. Maya started crying again. This baby didn't know her. Didn't know she was just the cleaning lady. Didn't know that in the eyes of the world she was nobody, nothing. But he was holding on to her like she was the only thing that mattered, and in that moment she was. The paramedics arrived in 7 minutes. Maya heard them before she saw them. Heavy footsteps, urgent voices, equipment rattling. 2 paramedics burst into the nursery. One was a young white man with blonde hair and hard eyes. Tyler, his name tag said. The other was an older black woman with kind eyes and gray at her temples. Patricia. Tyler looked at Maya, at her dark skin, at her cleaning uniform, at the white baby in her arms. His eyes narrowed. What happened here? I found him like this. He wasn't breathing. I made him throw up. There's poison in that bottle. Tyler didn't move. Who are you? I'm the cleaning lady. I work here. You work here. His voice dripped with suspicion. And you just happened to find the baby dying. Maya felt heat rise in her chest. I saved his life. That's what you say. Patricia stepped forward. Tyler, enough. Take the baby. Do your job. Tyler hesitated. Then he reached for Ethan. Maya didn't want to let go. Every instinct screamed at her to hold on, to protect this child from everyone, including the man who was supposed to help him. But she had no choice. She handed Ethan over. He immediately started crying, reaching back toward Maya. It's okay, baby, she said. They're going to help you. Tyler started checking vital signs. Patricia turned to Maya. The bottle. Where is it? Under the rocking chair. I didn't touch it. Patricia pulled on gloves, retrieved the bottle, and sniffed it. Her face changed. The color drained. Tyler, move, now. Tyler looked up. What is it? Industrial cleaning solution. High concentration. This baby should be dead. Tyler's face went pale. He grabbed Ethan and headed for the door. Patricia stopped in front of Maya. You saved this child's life. I don't know how you knew what to do, but you saved him. My grandmother taught me. Patricia nodded. Something passed between them. Understanding, recognition, the silent acknowledgement of black women who had been saving lives without credit for generations. Come with us. The doctors will need to talk to you. Maya followed them to the ambulance. Tyler tried to stop her. She can't ride with us. Family only. Patricia's voice cut like a blade. This woman is the only reason that baby is alive. She's coming. End of discussion. Tyler backed down. Maya climbed into the ambulance and watched them work on Ethan. They hooked him up to machines, put an oxygen mask on his face, drew blood from his tiny arm. Ethan cried the whole time, but it was a strong cry, a fighter's cry. Maya couldn't stop looking at him. This baby had almost died. Would have died if she had been 5 minutes later, if she hadn't listened to her grandmother, if she hadn't trusted her instincts. But he was alive, and someone out there knew it, someone who had expected to wake up to news of a tragedy, someone who was about to realize their plan had failed. Maya shivered. She had saved Ethan's life, but she had a terrible feeling that her own life had just become very, very dangerous. Greenwich Hospital was chaos. Doctors and nurses swarmed the ambulance the moment it arrived. They rushed Ethan through the emergency doors on a tiny stretcher. Maya tried to follow. A hand grabbed her arm. She turned. A security guard. White, tall, crew cut, cold eyes. Where do you think you're going? I'm with the baby. I'm the one who... Are you family? No, but... Then you wait here. He pointed to the waiting room. His hand was still on her arm. Tight. Too tight. Maya knew this script. She had lived it her whole life. Black woman in a place she didn't belong. Guilty until proven innocent. Suspect just for existing. Don't make a scene, the voice in her head warned. Don't give them a reason. She pulled her arm free and walked to the waiting room. She sat down. Her legs were shaking. Her hands wouldn't stop trembling. She looked at her shirt and saw stains. Ethan's vomit. The poison that had almost killed him. Evidence. On her clothes. Making her look guilty. Maya closed her eyes and tried to breathe. She needed to call Jonathan Sterling. She pulled out her phone and found his number. Mrs. Sterling had given it to her months ago. For emergencies, she had said. This definitely qualified. Maya dialed. 1 ring. 2, 3, 4. Hello? A man's voice, sharp, annoyed. Mr. Sterling, this is Maya Johnson. I clean your house. Who? The cleaning lady, sir. I come every Tuesday and Friday. I'm in a meeting. What do you want? Maya took a breath. Your son is in the hospital. Greenwich Hospital. He was poisoned this morning. I found him in his crib. He wasn't breathing. I saved his life, but you need to come. Now. Silence. Long silence. Is this some kind of joke? Mr. Sterling, your son almost died. Someone put poison in his bottle. The doctors are working on him right now. You need to come to this hospital immediately. More silence. Then Maya heard something change in his voice. The arrogance cracked. Fear bled through. Which hospital? Greenwich. Emergency room. I'm on my way. He hung up. Maya sat back and waited. An hour passed, then 2. No one came to update her. No one came to ask questions. She was invisible. A black woman in a waiting room. Furniture that happened to breathe. Finally, a nurse appeared. Young, white, nervous. Maya Johnson. Yes. The doctor wants to speak with you. Follow me. Maya followed her through double doors down a long hallway to a small office. Inside sat an older man. Gray hair, wire-rimmed glasses, white coat. Ms. Johnson, I'm Dr. Peterson. Please sit. Maya sat. How is Ethan? Is he going to be okay? Dr. Peterson looked at her for a long moment. Thanks to you, yes. He's going to make a full recovery. Maya felt tears spring to her eyes. Relief washed over her like a wave. What happened to him? What was in that bottle? Dr. Peterson's expression darkened. Industrial cleaning solution, the kind used to strip floors. Highly concentrated, highly toxic. If you hadn't acted when you did, he would have been dead within minutes. Maya felt sick. Someone put floor stripper in a baby's bottle. It appears so. Dr. Peterson leaned forward. Ms. Johnson, I need to ask you something. How did you know what to do? Most people would have panicked. Called 911 and waited, but you didn't wait. You acted. You saved his life. Maya thought about her grandmother, about Darnell, about generations of black women who had learned to save lives because no one else would do it for them. My grandmother taught me. She always said you can't wait for help when someone's dying. You have to be the help. Dr. Peterson nodded slowly. Your grandmother sounds like a remarkable woman. She is. The police are on their way. They'll want to talk to you. Maya's stomach tightened. Am I in trouble? No, you're a witness, and right now, you're the only one who knows what happened in that house this morning. He stood up. Would you like to see Ethan? He's awake. He's asking for you. Maya frowned. Asking for me? He's a baby. He can't talk. Dr. Peterson smiled. He can't talk, but every time someone walks into his room, he looks at the door, waiting. The nurses don't know who he's looking for, but I think I do. Maya followed Dr. Peterson to Ethan's room. She saw him through the window first. Tiny body in a big hospital bed, tubes and wires everywhere, but his eyes were open, alert. She pushed open the door. Ethan's head turned, his eyes locked onto hers, and then he smiled. Maya felt her heart crack open. She walked to his bed, reached for his hand, his tiny fingers wrapped around hers. Hey, little man, remember me? Ethan made a sound, not a cry, not a laugh, something in between, something that said yes. Maya started crying. I'm not going anywhere, she whispered. I promise. Jonathan Sterling arrived 45 minutes later. Maya heard him coming. Loud voice. Heavy footsteps. The energy of a man used to controlling everything and suddenly controlling nothing. He burst through the door. His eyes went to Ethan first. The tubes, the machines, the tiny body. Then his eyes went to Maya. She saw the questions forming. Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing here? Why are you holding my son's hand? But before he could speak, Ethan cried out, reaching for his father. Jonathan's face crumbled. All the power, all the control, all the walls he had built around himself. They collapsed in an instant. He rushed to the bed and scooped Ethan into his arms. I'm here. Daddy's here. You're okay. Everything's okay. Maya stood up and stepped back. This was their moment. She didn't belong in it, but Jonathan's voice stopped her. Wait. She turned. He was looking at her, eyes red, face wet with tears. You're Maya, the cleaning lady. Yes, sir. You saved my son. Yes, sir. He was quiet for a long moment. Ethan was calming down in his arms. The baby kept looking back at Maya, reaching for her. Tell me what happened. Everything. Maya told him. The empty house, the dark hallway, the nursery, what she found, what she did. Jonathan listened without interrupting. When she finished, he asked a question that changed everything. "Where was my wife this morning?" Maya felt cold. "I don't know, sir. The house was empty when I arrived." "What about Brittany, the nanny?" "She wasn't there either." Jonathan's jaw tightened. He pulled out his phone, dialed a number. "Brittany, where are you?" His voice was ice. "What do you mean she gave you the day off? Vanessa told you to stay home when this morning. Did she say why?" He listened. His face got darker. "Don't leave your apartment. Don't talk to anyone. The police will contact you." He hung up. Maya watched him. She saw something building behind his eyes. Something terrible. "Mr. Sterling." "My wife." His voice was barely a whisper. "She gave the nanny the day off. She made sure no one would be in the house, and then she left before Ethan woke up." Maya's blood ran cold. "You think she—" "I don't think anything, not yet." He looked at Ethan, at his son, at the baby who had almost died. "But I'm going to find out the truth, and when I do, God help whoever did this, because I won't." Detective Marcus Williams arrived 2 hours later. He was not what Maya expected. She had been bracing for suspicion, accusations, the cold, hard stare of a white cop who saw a black woman and automatically saw a criminal. But Detective Williams was black, 50 years old, kind eyes that had seen too much and still hadn't given up. He asked to speak with Maya alone. They found an empty conference room. "Ms. Johnson?" He sat across from her. Didn't pull out a badge. Didn't show any weapons. Just looked at her. Human to human. "I've talked to the doctors, the paramedics. Everyone agrees. You saved that baby's life." Maya nodded. She didn't trust her voice. "Tell me what happened. Your words. Your way." Maya told him everything, from her grandmother's warning to the moment the ambulance arrived. When she finished, Detective Williams was quiet for a long time. Then he said something that made her breath catch. "Ms. Johnson, this isn't the first time we've had concerns about the Sterling household." Maya's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" 8 months ago, when Ethan was born, there was an incident. Mrs. Sterling was found holding the baby near an open window, 3rd floor. She said she was just looking at the view. The nanny wasn't convinced. She filed a report. Maya felt sick. "What happened?" "Nothing. The report was buried. Mr. Sterling has powerful friends, powerful lawyers. The nanny was paid off and signed an NDA. So she's tried this before." "I can't say that officially, but off the record," Detective Williams leaned forward. "That baby has been in danger since the day he was born, and you might be the first person who actually saved him." Maya's hands were shaking. "What happens now?" "Now we investigate. We test the bottle. We pull security footage. We interview everyone who had access to that house. And Mrs. Sterling, she's a person of interest, but we need evidence. Hard evidence. Right now all we have is a poison bottle and a missing wife." Maya thought about what Jonathan had said, about Vanessa giving the nanny the day off, about leaving before Ethan woke up. She planned this. She planned the whole thing. Probably, but probably doesn't hold up in court. We need proof. Detective Williams stood up. "Ms. Johnson, I'm going to be straight with you. This case is going to get ugly. A lot of money is involved, a lot of powerful people. Things are going to happen that don't make sense. Justice might take longer than it should." He handed her a card, plain white, black letters. "But I want you to know something. I see you. I see what you did, and I'm not going to let anyone forget it." Maya took the card. "There's something else," Detective Williams said. His voice dropped. "You need to be careful." Careful. Whoever did this expected Ethan to die. They expected to get away with it. You ruined that plan, which means they're going to see you as a threat. Maya felt cold spreading through her chest. "Are you saying I'm in danger?" "I'm saying watch your back. Don't go anywhere alone. Don't trust anyone you don't know. And if anything seems wrong, anything at all, you call me, day or night." Maya looked at the card in her hand. She had walked into that mansion this morning as a cleaning lady, invisible, unimportant, nobody. Now she was a witness, a threat, a target. Her life would never be the same. Maya went home that night. She took the bus, watched the streets pass by. Bridgeport looked different now, darker, more dangerous. Every car that slowed down made her tense. Every stranger who looked at her made her heart race. She was being paranoid. She knew that. But she also knew that someone had tried to kill a baby this morning, and that someone was still out there. She got off the bus and walked to her apartment. 3 blocks. She had walked this road 1,000 times. Tonight, it felt like 1,000 miles. She unlocked her door and stepped inside. "Maya," her grandmother's voice, worried. "I'm home, Grandma." "Come here, child, now." Maya walked to Dorothy's room. Her grandmother was sitting up in bed, eyes sharp. "Tell me." "Grandma, I'm tired. I just wanna—" "Maya Jean Johnson, don't you dare lie to me. I can see it in your face. Something happened, something bad. Now tell me." Maya sat on the edge of the bed, and she told her everything. When she finished, Dorothy was silent for a long time. Then she took Maya's hand. "You did right, baby. You saved that child's life. Your mama would be proud. Your ancestors would be proud." "But now I'm in danger, Grandma. Someone is after me." "Someone's always after us. That's what it means to be black in this world. But we don't run. We don't hide. We stand our ground." Dorothy squeezed her hand. "You come from a long line of strong women, Maya. Women who survived slavery, survived Jim Crow, survived everything this world threw at them. You have their blood in your veins, their strength in your bones." "I don't feel strong." "That's okay. You don't have to feel it. You just have to be it." Maya started crying. Dorothy pulled her close. "Whatever comes next, we face it together. You hear me? You're not alone. You'll never be alone." They held each other for a long time. Finally, Maya pulled back. "I should let you sleep. You sleep in here tonight, on the floor next to my bed, like you used to when you were little." Maya didn't argue. She grabbed her blanket and pillow and made a bed on the floor. She was almost asleep when her phone buzzed. A text, unknown number. Maya's blood went cold. She opened the message. 3 words. "You should have minded your own business." Maya sat up. Her hands were shaking as she typed a reply. "Who is this?" She waited. 1 minute. 2. 5. No response. She called Detective Williams. He answered on the second ring. "Williams." "Detective, it's Maya Johnson. I just got a threatening text. Unknown number. It says I should have minded my own business." Silence. "When?" "Just now. Right now." "Don't delete it. Don't respond again. I'm sending a patrol car to your apartment." "What's happening? Who sent this?" "I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. Lock your doors. Don't let anyone in. I'll call you back." He hung up. Maya got up and checked the front door. Locked. The back door. Locked. The windows. All locked. But her apartment suddenly felt like a pit. Thin walls. Broken locks. A fire escape that anyone could climb. She wasn't safe here. She wasn't safe anywhere. Her phone buzzed again. Another text. Same unknown number. This time it wasn't words. It was a photo. Maya's hand started shaking so badly she almost dropped the phone. The photo was of her, walking into the hospital that morning, taken from across the street, zoomed in on her face. Below the photo, 1 sentence. "We know who you are. We know where you live. Stay away from the baby. This is your only warning." Maya couldn't breathe. They had been watching her all day. They knew where she went, where she lived. They were probably watching right now. She looked at the window, at the darkness beyond. Was someone out there? In the shadows, waiting, Maya. Her grandmother's voice, sleepy, concerned. "What's wrong, baby?" Maya made a decision. She walked to the kitchen, grabbed the biggest knife she could find, a butcher's knife with a black handle and a blade that gleamed in the dim light. Then she walked back to her grandmother's room. "Nothing's wrong, Grandma. Go back to sleep." She sat down in the chair by the door, the knife in her lap, her eyes on the window. She didn't sleep. She couldn't, because somewhere out there in the darkness someone was watching. Someone was waiting. Someone was planning. And Maya knew with absolute certainty that this night was just the beginning. The real danger hadn't even started yet. At 3:47 a.m., Maya heard a sound. A footstep. On the fire escape outside her grandmother's window. She gripped the knife tighter. Another footstep. Closer. Maya stood up slowly, silently. She moved toward the window. Her heart was pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. She reached the window, pressed herself against the wall, listened. Silence. Then another footstep. Right outside. Maya raised the knife. A shadow passed across the window. Someone was there. Right there. Inches away. Maya held her breath. The shadow stopped. For a long moment nothing happened. Maya could hear breathing. Heavy. Male. Then her phone buzzed. Loud. Too loud. The shadow jerked. Footsteps retreated. Quick. Panicked. Maya rushed to the window and looked out. Nothing. The fire escape was empty. Whoever had been there was gone. She grabbed her phone. A text from Detective Williams. Patrol car is outside your building. You're safe for tonight. We'll talk in the morning. Maya looked out the front window. Sure enough, a police car was parked across the street. 2 officers inside. She should have felt relieved. She didn't, because someone had just been on her fire escape. Someone who knew where she lived. Someone who was watching. And the police had arrived too late. They would always be too late. Maya sat back down in the chair, the knife in her lap, her eyes on the door. She watched the darkness slowly turn to gray. She watched the sun rise over Bridgeport. She watched a new day begin, a day that would bring more danger, more fear, more questions, but also answers. Because Maya Johnson was done being scared. She was done being invisible. She had saved a baby's life. She had stepped into the darkness and pulled him out. And now she was going to find out the truth. No matter what it cost her, no matter who tried to stop her, no matter how dangerous it got, she was a Johnson woman, and Johnson women didn't break. They bent, they survived, and they fought back. Maya looked at the knife in her hands. "Come on then," she whispered to the darkness. "I'm ready." The sun had barely risen when Maya's phone rang. She grabbed it. Unknown number, different from last night. Her finger hovered over the answer button. Every instinct told her not to pick up, but something else, something stronger, made her press accept. "Hello?" "Ms. Johnson." A man's voice, tired, broken. "This is Jonathan Sterling." Maya exhaled. "Mr. Sterling? Is Ethan okay?" "He's fine. He's sleeping." A pause. "I need to see you today, now. Can you come to the hospital?" Maya looked at her grandmother still sleeping peacefully, looked at the knife in her lap, looked at the police car still parked outside. "I'll be there in an hour." "Thank you." He hung up. Maya stood up. Her body ached from sitting in that chair all night. Her eyes burned from not sleeping, but none of that mattered. She had made a promise, to Ethan, to herself. She wasn't going to break it. 7:23 a.m. Maya stepped off the bus in Greenwich. The morning air was cold, sharp. It cut through her thin jacket like a blade. She walked toward the hospital, checking over her shoulder every few steps, looking for shadows, looking for danger. She saw nothing, but that didn't mean nothing was there. The hospital lobby was quiet. A few nurses, a security guard who barely looked at her. Maya walked to the elevator and pressed the button for the 3rd floor. The doors opened. Jonathan Sterling was standing there, waiting for her. He looked like a different man. The arrogance was gone. The power suit was wrinkled. His eyes were red and hollow. He hadn't slept either. "Ms. Johnson, thank you for coming. How is he? Come, see for yourself." They walked down the hallway together. Maya noticed 2 men in dark suits standing outside Ethan's room. Private security, armed. Jonathan saw her looking. "I'm not taking any chances. Not anymore." They entered the room. Ethan was awake, sitting up in his tiny hospital bed. The moment he saw Maya, his face lit up. He reached for her, made sounds, happy sounds. Maya felt tears spring to her eyes. She walked to his bed and took his hand. "Hey, little man, you look so much better." Ethan grabbed her finger, that same grip, strong, determined. "He's been asking for you all morning," Jonathan said quietly. "The nurses thought he was asking for his mother, but I knew better." Maya looked at him. "Where is his mother?" Jonathan's face hardened. "Gone. She disappeared last night. The police are looking for her." Maya felt cold. Disappeared. Packed a bag, took her passport, cleaned out her personal account, $200,000. He sat down heavily in a chair. She knew. The moment I called her and told her Ethan was alive, she knew it was over. So she ran. She ran. Maya looked back at Ethan, this innocent baby whose own mother had tried to kill him, who would have died alone in his crib if Maya had been 5 minutes late. "Mr. Sterling, I need to tell you something." "What?" "Someone is threatening me. I got messages last night. They know where I live. Someone was on my fire escape at 4 a.m. Jonathan's head snapped up. "What?" "They told me to stay away from Ethan. Said it was my only warning." Jonathan stood up. His hands were shaking, not with fear, with rage. "Show me." Maya handed him her phone. He read the messages, looked at the photo of her walking into the hospital. His jaw tightened so hard she could hear his teeth grinding. "This is Vanessa, or someone working for her. The police know. Detective Williams sent a patrol car to my apartment." "A patrol car?" Jonathan laughed. It was bitter, empty. "A patrol car won't stop these people, Ms. Johnson. You don't understand what you've gotten into." "Then help me understand." Jonathan was quiet for a long moment. He looked at Ethan, at Maya, at the door with the armed guard outside. Then he said, "I'm going to tell you something. Something I've never told anyone. Not the police, not my lawyers, no one." Maya waited. "Vanessa married me for my money. I knew that from the beginning. I didn't care. She was beautiful, young. She made me feel alive." He shook his head. "I was a fool." "What happened?" "A year ago, I found out she was having an affair. A man named Derek Morrison. He's a businessman, real estate, construction, very successful, very dangerous." Maya felt her stomach tighten. "I confronted her. She denied it, but I had proof, photos, emails, everything." Jonathan's voice dropped. "That's when things changed. She stopped pretending to love me, stopped pretending to care about Ethan. She became cold, calculated, and then she started asking about my will." "Your will?" "Who inherits if I die? Who inherits if Ethan dies? What happens to my companies, my assets?" He looked at Maya. "I'm worth $3 billion, Ms. Johnson. If I die without changing my will, Vanessa gets half. If Ethan dies too, she gets everything." Maya felt sick. "So she tried to kill him." "That's my theory. The police don't have enough evidence yet, but I know my wife. I know what she's capable of." He paused. "And I know Derek Morrison. He's been investigated for fraud, extortion, money laundering. Nothing ever sticks. He's too smart, too connected." "You think he helped her plan this?" "I think he did more than help. I think he's the one running the whole operation." Jonathan leaned forward. "And I think he's the one who sent you those messages." Maya's blood ran cold. "Why me? I'm nobody. I'm just the cleaning lady." "You're not nobody. You're the woman who ruined their plan. You saved the baby they were trying to kill. You're a witness. And as long as you're alive, you're a threat." The room was silent except for the beeping of Ethan's monitors. Finally, Jonathan spoke again. "Ms. Johnson, I have a proposal for you." "You." "What kind of proposal?" "I want you to come work for me, not as a cleaning lady, as Ethan's caregiver, his protector." Maya stared at him. "I'll pay you 10 times what you're making now. I'll move you into the mansion. You'll have your own room, your own bathroom, access to everything. Your grandmother can come too. She'll have the best medical care money can buy." "Mr. Sterling." "I need someone I can trust. Right now, you're the only person in the world I trust with my son." He looked at her with desperate eyes. "Please, Ms. Johnson, I'm begging you, help me keep him safe." Maya looked at Ethan, at his innocent face, at the way he was holding her finger like he would never let go. She thought about the threats, the danger, the shadow on her fire escape. She thought about her grandmother, the medical bills, the cold apartment. She thought about her whole life. Working 3 jobs, invisible, unimportant, barely surviving, and now for the first time someone was asking her to matter. "Okay," she said. "I'll do it." 8:15 a.m. Maya called her grandmother from the hospital payphone. "Grandma, I need to tell you something." "I'm listening, baby." "Mr. Sterling offered me a job, taking care of Ethan, the baby I saved. He wants me to live at his mansion." Silence. "Grandma." "How much is he paying?" Maya told her. More silence. Then Dorothy's voice, firm and clear, "Take it." "What?" "Take the job, Maya. This is your chance, the chance we've been praying for." "But Grandma, it's dangerous. Someone is threatening me. They were on our fire escape last night." "I know. I heard you get up. I heard you grab that knife." Dorothy's voice softened. "You think I don't know what's happening? You think I slept through all of it?" Maya felt tears in her eyes. "I'm not leaving you alone." "Mr. Sterling said I could come too, didn't he?" "Yes, but Grandma, you can't just..." "Me? Maya Jean Johnson, I have spent my whole life watching you struggle, watching you work yourself to death, watching you give up everything so I could have a little bit more." Dorothy's voice cracked. "Let me do this for you. Let me be there. Let us face this together." Maya couldn't speak. Tears were streaming down her face. "Baby girl. I love you, Grandma. I love you too. Now go tell that rich man we're moving in." 10:47 a.m. Detective Williams arrived at the hospital. He found Maya in Ethan's room holding the baby while Jonathan made phone calls in the hallway. "Ms. Johnson, you look tired." "I didn't sleep." "I heard about the fire escape. We pulled prints, but they were smudged. Probably gloves." He sat down across from her. "I have news. Bad news." Maya's stomach dropped. "What?" "Vanessa Sterling's car was found abandoned near the Canadian border. Engine still warm, but no sign of her." "She crossed into Canada." Maybe, or maybe she wanted us to think that while she went somewhere else. Detective Williams rubbed his eyes. We've alerted Interpol, put out a federal warrant, but if she has help, if she has money, she could be anywhere by now. Maya looked at Ethan. So she's just gone. She tried to kill her own baby and she just gets away with it. For now, but not forever, we're building a case. The bottle came back with her fingerprints. The security footage shows her leaving the house that morning. The nanny's testimony puts her alone with Ethan before she left. Then why can't you arrest her? Because we can't arrest someone we can't find. Detective Williams leaned forward. Which brings me to my other news. We've identified the man who sent you those messages. Maya's heart stopped. Who? His name is Kevin Rhodes, ex-military, private security contractor. He's worked for Derek Morrison for the past 6 years. The name hit Maya like a punch. Derek Morrison, Jonathan told me about him. Then you know what we're dealing with. Morrison isn't just some businessman. He's connected to organized crime, drug money, human trafficking, things we can't prove but know are true. Detective Williams lowered his voice. If he's involved in this, you're in more danger than I thought. Maya felt the floor shifting under her feet. What do I do? You stay close to Mr. Sterling. His security is the best in the state. You don't go anywhere alone. You don't trust anyone you don't know. He handed her a small device. This is a panic button. Press it, and my team will be there in minutes. Keep it with you at all times. Maya took it. It felt heavy in her hand. Detective Williams. Yes. Am I going to survive this? He looked at her for a long moment. I don't know, Ms. Johnson, but I know one thing. You've already survived more than most people could. And that tells me you have what it takes to survive whatever comes next. 12:30 p.m. Maya and her grandmother arrived at the Sterling mansion. A moving truck had come for their belongings. It didn't take long. They didn't have much. Jonathan met them at the front door. Mrs. Johnson. He shook Dorothy's hand. Thank you for coming. Call me Dorothy. She looked him up and down. You look like you haven't slept in days. I haven't. That won't do. You can't protect anyone if you're dead on your feet. She walked past him into the house. Where's the kitchen? I'm going to make you some food. Jonathan looked at Maya with surprise. Maya shrugged. She's like that. Just let her. Jonathan led them through the mansion. Maya had cleaned this house 100 times, but it felt different now. Not like someone else's palace. Like a place where she might actually belong. Her room was on the second floor right next to the nursery. It was 3 times the size of her old bedroom. A queen-sized bed, a private bathroom, a window that overlooked the garden. Dorothy's room was across the hall, even bigger, with a sitting area and a television and a small refrigerator. This is too much, Dorothy said. It's not enough, Jonathan replied. You're giving me your granddaughter. You're putting your lives in danger for my son. This is the least I can do. Dorothy looked at him, then she nodded. You're a good man, Mr. Sterling. Foolish for marrying that snake, but good. Jonathan almost smiled. Almost. 2:15 p.m. Maya was in the nursery with Ethan when she heard voices downstairs. Loud voices, angry voices. She picked up Ethan and moved to the doorway. The security guards were already on alert hands on their weapons. What's happening? Maya asked. Someone at the gate, demanding to be let in. Then Maya heard the voice, a woman's voice, shrill, furious. This is my house. You can't keep me out of my own house. Maya's blood went cold. Vanessa, she was back. Maya held Ethan tighter and backed into the nursery. She closed the door, locked it. Her hands were shaking. She heard Jonathan's voice now, calm, cold. You're not welcome here, Vanessa. You need to leave. Leave? Leave? I'm your wife. You tried to kill my son. That's a lie. That's a disgusting lie. You have no proof. The police have proof. The bottle with your fingerprints, the security footage, the nanny's testimony. Silence. Then Vanessa's voice different now. Lower. Dangerous. You think you can just throw me away after everything I've done for you. You haven't done anything for me. You've only taken. I gave you the best years of my life. You gave me nothing but lies. Maya heard footsteps, coming up the stairs, fast. She backed away from the door, held Ethan against her chest. The doorknob rattled. Open this door, Vanessa screamed. I want to see my son. Maya didn't move, didn't speak, didn't breathe. Open this door. More footsteps, heavier this time. The security guards. Ma'am, you need to come with us. Don't you touch me. Do you know who I am? Ma'am, please, don't make this difficult. Sounds of struggle. Vanessa screaming, cursing, then more footsteps, going down the stairs. A few minutes later, sirens. Maya stayed locked in the nursery. She didn't move until Jonathan knocked on the door. Maya, it's safe. She's gone. Maya unlocked the door. Jonathan was standing there. His face was pale. His hands were shaking. Are you okay? I'm fine. Is Ethan okay? Maya looked down at the baby in her arms. He was looking up at her with his big blue eyes, calm, trusting. He's okay. Jonathan exhaled. His whole body seemed to deflate. She came back. I can't believe she came back. What happened? The police took her. She's being held for questioning. He ran his hand through his hair. She was screaming about how I ruined her life, how she would take everything from me, how I would regret this. Maya felt cold. She threatened you. She's been threatening me since the day I married her. I was just too blind to see it. Jonathan looked at Ethan, at his son, the baby he had almost lost. I failed him. I brought that woman into his life. I let her near him. I almost got him killed. You didn't know. I should have known. His voice broke. I'm his father. I'm supposed to protect him, and I almost let him die. Samut. Maya watched this powerful man crumble, this billionaire who controlled empires, this titan of industry who could buy anything he wanted. Accept forgiveness. Accept peace. You couldn't have known, Maya said quietly. You loved her. That's not a crime. Love. Jonathan laughed bitterly. I didn't love her. I loved the idea of her, the beautiful wife, the perfect family, the image. He shook his head. I never loved her, and she never loved me. It was all a lie. Maya didn't know what to say, so she just stood there, holding Ethan, letting Jonathan break apart. Finally, he pulled himself together. Thank you, Maya. For what? For being here. For not running away? He looked at her. Really looked at her. Most people would have run by now, would have taken the money and disappeared. I'm not most people. No, you're not. Something passed between them. Something Maya couldn't name. Then Ethan made a sound, a hungry sound, and the moment was gone. 5:47 p.m. Detective Williams called with an update. Vanessa had lawyered up. She wasn't talking. Her attorney was claiming everything was circumstantial, that the fingerprints on the bottle proved nothing, that the security footage showed her leaving not poisoning anyone. They're going to fight this, Detective Williams said, every step of the way. Maya was in the nursery, phone pressed to her ear, watching Ethan sleep. What about Derek Morrison? We brought him in for questioning. He denied everything, said he barely knew Vanessa, said he had no idea what we were talking about. Detective Williams's voice was frustrated. His alibi checks out. He was in Manhattan all day yesterday, 3 witnesses. So he walks for now, but we're watching him. Every move, every call. He'll slip up eventually. Maya hung up and sat there in the darkness. Vanessa was in custody, but not talking. Derek Morrison was free. Kevin Rhodes was still out there somewhere. And Maya was sitting in a mansion with a target on her back. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Maya's hand trembled as she opened the message. Vanessa won't talk. Derek won't fall, but you will. Then another message. You have 48 hours. Leave the baby, leave the mansion, go back to your pathetic little life, or we'll make sure you don't have a life to go back to. Then a third message. A photo, Maya's grandmother, walking into the mansion that morning, zoomed in on her face. Nice lady. Shame if something happened to her. Maya dropped the phone. Her whole body was shaking. Her heart was pounding so hard she could barely breathe. They weren't just threatening her anymore. They were threatening Dorothy. Maya grabbed her phone and ran. 6:02 p.m., Maya burst into her grandmother's room. Dorothy was sitting up in bed reading a Bible. She looked up with surprise. Maya, what's wrong? Maya showed her the messages, the photos, the threats. Dorothy read them slowly. Her face didn't change. Grandma, we have to leave. We have to go. They're threatening you. Maya? We can't stay here. It's too dangerous. I'll tell Mr. Sterling we're leaving. We can go somewhere. Hide. Maya. Maya stopped. Dorothy's voice was steel. Sit down. Maya sat. Dorothy put down her Bible. She took Maya's hands in hers. Do you know what these people are? Killers? They're killers. No, baby. They're cowards. Cowards who hurt babies. Cowards who threaten old women. Cowards who hide in the shadows and send scary messages. Dorothy's eyes were fierce. Do you think this is the first time someone has threatened me? Do you think I've lived 78 years without looking death in the face? Maya couldn't speak. I marched in Selma, baby. I stood in front of police dogs and fire hoses. I buried your grandfather after the Klan came in the night. I held your mother when she died in my arms. Dorothy squeezed her hands. These people think they can scare me. They have no idea who they're dealing with. But Grandma, we are not running. Do you hear me? We are not running. We are staying. We are fighting. And we are going to protect that baby because that's what God put us here to do. Tears were streaming down Maya's face. What if they hurt you? Then they hurt me, but I'd rather die standing up than live on my knees. Dorothy pulled Maya close. You are my blood, Maya Jean Johnson. You have the strength of 1,000 generations in your veins. Now act like it. Maya held on to her grandmother, held on like she would never let go, and in that moment something changed inside her. The fear didn't disappear, but it transformed, hardened, became something else. Rage. These people had tried to kill a baby, had threatened her grandmother, had tried to destroy everything she loved. She was done being scared. She was done being the victim. It was time to fight back. 8:33 p.m. Maya showed Jonathan the messages. He read them in silence. His face went from pale to red to something beyond red, something dangerous. I'm going to destroy them. How? I have resources, money, connections, things I've never used because I didn't need to. He looked at her. But now I need to. Now I'm going to burn their whole world down. What about the police? The police are limited by laws, by procedures, by evidence. Jonathan's voice was cold. I'm not. Maya felt a chill. What are you going to do? Whatever it takes to keep my son safe. Whatever it takes to keep you and your grandmother safe. He stood up. They think they can threaten my family. They have no idea what they've started. He walked to his office. Made phone calls, spoke in low, urgent tones. Maya stayed with Ethan. She didn't know what Jonathan was planning, didn't know what he was capable of, but she knew one thing. The game had changed, and the hunters were about to become the hunted. 11:15 p.m. Maya was in the nursery unable to sleep. Ethan was in his crib peaceful, safe. The security guards were outside, the alarms were set, the mansion was locked down tight, but Maya couldn't shake the feeling, the sense that something was coming. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her hand trembled as she opened it. Time's running out, Maya. 47 hours. Then another message. We're closer than you think. Maya looked at the window, at the darkness beyond. Were they out there watching, waiting? She walked to the window and looked out. Nothing. Just the empty garden. The dark trees. Then a light. A flashlight. In the woods at the edge of the property. Moving. Coming closer. Maya grabbed her phone and dialed security. There's someone in the woods, east side of the property. I can see a flashlight. Copy that. Stay inside. Lock the door. Maya locked the nursery door, picked up Ethan, held him tight. She heard footsteps outside. The security guards running, then shouts, commands. Stop right there. Don't move. More shouts, then silence. Maya waited. Minutes passed. Her heart was pounding. Finally, a knock on the door. Ms. Johnson, it's clear. You can open up. Maya opened the door. The head of security was standing there. His face was grim. What happened? We caught someone. A man. He was on the property with a camera. A camera. Long-range lens. He was taking photos of the house, of the windows. The guard paused. Of this room. Maya felt sick. Who is he? He won't say. We've called the police. They're on their way. Maya looked at Ethan, at his sleeping face. They had been watching, taking photos, waiting for the right moment. 48 hours, the message had said. But Maya knew the truth. They weren't going to wait 48 hours. They were going to come sooner, and when they came, Maya would be ready. She looked at the guard. I want to see him. Ms. Johnson, I don't think... I want to see the man who is watching us, now. The guard hesitated, then nodded. Follow me. They walked downstairs to the security office. A man was handcuffed to a chair. Young, white, crew-cut, cold eyes. Maya recognized him. Not from meeting him. From the description Detective Williams had given. Kevin Rhodes, she said. The man looked up, smiled. So you know who I am? I know what you are. And what's that? A coward. A man who threatens old women and tries to kill babies. Kevin's smile flickered. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, and when the police get here, you're going to tell them everything. Kevin laughed. Am I, and why would I do that? Maya stepped closer. Because Derek Morrison isn't going to save you. Vanessa Sterling isn't going to save you. You're going to prison for a very long time. And when the other inmates find out you helped try to kill a baby, they're going to make your life hell. Kevin's smile disappeared. You don't know what you're talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I grew up in Louisiana. I know what happens to people who hurt children, even in prison. Maya leaned in. So here's my offer. You talk to the police. You tell them everything about Morrison, everything about Vanessa, everything about the plan, and maybe, just maybe, you get protective custody instead of general population. Kevin stared at her. For a long moment, nobody moved. Then Kevin's face changed. The arrogance cracked. Fear leaked through. You think you can protect me from Morrison? I think Mr. Sterling has more money and more lawyers than Morrison will ever have. I think if you cooperate, we can make sure you're safe. Maya paused. But if you don't cooperate, I'll make sure every inmate in whatever prison you end up in knows exactly what you did. Kevin swallowed. The fear was winning. I want a deal, he said quietly. I want it in writing before I say anything. You'll get your deal after you talk. No, before. Maya looked at the security guard. The guard nodded and stepped out to make a call. Maya turned back to Kevin. You have one chance to save yourself. Don't waste it. Kevin looked at her. At this black woman in a maid's clothes who had just turned his whole world upside down. Who are you? Were you? He asked. Maya smiled. I'm the woman who saved the baby you tried to kill, and I'm about to destroy everyone who helped you. 2:47 a.m. Kevin Rhodes broke. Detective Williams had arrived with 2 FBI agents. They offered Kevin a deal, full immunity in exchange for testimony. Kevin took it, and what he told them changed everything. Derek Morrison wasn't just Vanessa's boyfriend. He was the mastermind. He had planned the whole thing, the affair, the marriage, the baby, everything. Morrison had met Vanessa 3 years ago, targeted her specifically, seduced her, convinced her to marry Jonathan Sterling and get close to his fortune. The plan was always to kill the baby, then kill Jonathan, make it look like accidents. Vanessa would inherit everything and Morrison would control her. But Maya had ruined it, by saving Ethan, by refusing to stay silent. Now Morrison was desperate, dangerous, and he wasn't working alone. Kevin gave them names, addresses, bank accounts, everything. By dawn, the FBI had warrants for Derek Morrison and 6 of his associates. They raided his office, his home, his warehouse on the docks. They found everything. Financial records linking him to organized crime, communications planning Ethan's murder, photos of Maya, photos of Dorothy, photos of the Sterling mansion with entry points marked. They had been planning something big, something that would have happened in the next 48 hours, something that would have killed them all. 5:15 a.m. Maya watched through the window as FBI agents brought Derek Morrison out of the back of a van. He was in handcuffs. His expensive suit was wrinkled. His perfect hair was disheveled. He looked up at the mansion. Their eyes met. Morrison smiled, a cold, dead smile that made Maya's blood freeze. He was caught. He was going to prison. But that smile said something else. This isn't over. Maya watched until they put him in the car, until the car drove away. Then she went back to the nursery. Ethan was awake, looking at her. She picked him up and held him close. It's okay, baby, she whispered. The bad man is gone. But even as she said it, she knew it wasn't true. Derek Morrison was caught. But there were others. There were always others. And Maya had made powerful enemies, enemies who would stop at nothing to destroy her. 6:30 a.m. Jonathan found Maya in the nursery. It's over, he said. They got Morrison. They got everyone. I know. You should be happy. You saved my son. You brought down a criminal empire. Maya looked at him. Did you see his face when they brought him out? Jonathan nodded slowly. He smiled at me, like he knew something I didn't. Maya shook her head. This isn't over, Mr. Sterling. Men like Morrison don't give up. Even from prison, they can hurt people. Jonathan was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, You're right, which is why I'm not letting you leave. Maya frowned. What? I want you to stay, permanently. You and your grandmother. This is your home now. Mr. Sterling. Jonathan, please. Jonathan, I can't just... You saved my son's life. Twice. You brought down the people trying to kill us. You've done more for this family in 3 days than anyone has done in 3 years. He took a step toward her. Maya, I need you. Ethan needs you. Please, stay. Maya looked at him. At this man who had lost everything and was trying to rebuild. At this man who looked at her not like a cleaning lady, not like the help, but like someone who mattered. Okay, she said. I'll stay. Jonathan exhaled. Relief washed over his face. Thank you. Maya nodded. She looked down at Ethan still in her arms. This baby had changed her life, had given her purpose, had made her matter, and she was going to protect him. No matter what came next, no matter who tried to stop her, no matter how dangerous it got, she was done being afraid. She was done being invisible. She was Maya Jean Johnson, and she was just getting started. 3 weeks had passed since Derek Morrison's arrest. Maya stood at the nursery window watching the sunrise paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. Ethan was asleep in his crib, breathing softly, peacefully. His color had returned. His strength had returned. He was a happy, healthy baby again. But Maya couldn't sleep. Every night she saw Morrison smile. That cold, knowing smile he had given her when they loaded him into the police car. This isn't over. She heard it in her dreams. Woke up in a cold sweat. Checked the locks, checked the windows, checked on Ethan. 7:15 a.m. Her phone buzzed. Detective Williams. Ms. Johnson, we need to talk. Can you come to the station this morning? Maya's stomach tightened. What's wrong? I'd rather discuss it in person. Detective, just tell me. A pause. Then Morrison made bail. Maya's blood turned to ice. That's impossible. He was charged with attempted murder, conspiracy, organized crime. His lawyers found a sympathetic judge, posted $10 million cash. Detective Williams's voice was bitter. He walked out an hour ago. Maya couldn't breathe. Where is he now? We don't know. We have surveillance on his home, his office, but he hasn't shown up at either. He's in the wind. Maya looked at Ethan, sleeping, innocent, unaware that the man who tried to kill him was free. I'll be there in an hour, she said. She hung up and immediately called Jonathan. He answered on the first ring. Maya, what's wrong? Morrison is out. He made bail. He's gone. Silence. Then, get Ethan. Get your grandmother. Meet me in my office in 10 minutes. Jonathan was already on the phone when Maya arrived with Ethan in her arms. Dorothy walked in behind her Bible in hand, face set like stone. I don't care what it costs, Jonathan was saying. I want 24-hour surveillance. I want to know where he eats, where he sleeps, who he talks to, every move. He hung up and looked at them. We're going into lockdown. No one leaves the property. No one comes in without my authorization. The security team is being tripled. What about the police? Maya asked. The police let him out. Jonathan's voice was cold. I'm not relying on the police anymore. Dorothy spoke for the first time. This man has money, power, connections. How do we fight that? With more money, more power, more connections. Jonathan looked at her. I've spent my whole life building an empire. Now I'm going to use it to protect my family. Maya felt something shift in her chest. Family. He had called them family. What do you need me to do? She asked. Keep Ethan close. Don't let him out of your sight. Not for a second. Maya nodded. She looked down at the baby in her arms. His eyes were open now, looking up at her, trusting. I won't, she said. I promise. 9:47 a.m. Maya arrived at the police station. Detective Williams was waiting for her in the lobby. His face was tired, defeated. I'm sorry, Maya. I did everything I could. I know you did. They walked to his office. He closed the door. There's something else, something I didn't want to tell you over the phone. Maya's heart started pounding. What? Vanessa Sterling was released this morning. Same judge, same bail conditions. Maya felt the room spin. They're both out. They're both out. And there's more. Detective Williams pulled a file from his desk. We intercepted a phone call last night between Morrison and someone we haven't identified yet. They were talking about finishing what they started. Maya's hands started shaking. Finishing what they started? You mean killing Ethan? We don't know for certain. The call was coded, but that's our best guess. Maya stood up. She couldn't sit still anymore. She paced the small office, her mind racing. So they're free. They're planning something, and we just have to wait for them to try again. We're doing everything we can. Surveillance, wiretaps, informants. But Morrison is smart. He knows we're watching. Then how do we catch him? Detective Williams was quiet for a moment. There might be a way, but you're not going to like it. Tell me. We could use you as bait. Maya stopped pacing. Bait? Morrison wants you dead. You're the one who ruined his plan. If we make you visible, draw him out, we might be able to catch him in the act. Maya stared at him. You want me to let him come after me? I want you to be protected while we let him think he has a chance. Detective Williams leaned forward. We would have agents everywhere. You would be wearing a wire. The moment he makes a move, we take him down. And if something goes wrong, that's the risk. Maya thought about Ethan, about Dorothy, about everything she had to lose. Then she thought about Morrison's smile, about living in fear for the rest of her life, about always looking over her shoulder. I'll do it, she said. Detective Williams nodded slowly. I'll set it up. But Maya, you need to understand. Once we start this, there's no going back. You'll be in the crosshairs until we catch him. I've been in the crosshairs since the day I saved that baby. Maya looked at him. At least now I get to shoot back. 12:30 p.m. Maya told Jonathan about the plan. He exploded. Absolutely not. I won't allow it. It's not your decision. The hell it isn't. You live in my house. You work for me. I'm responsible for your safety. No one is responsible for my safety except me. Maya stood her ground. I've been running and hiding for 3 weeks. I'm done. I want this over. And if you die, what happens to Ethan, then what happens to your grandmother? Maya felt the words like a punch. I'm not going to die. You don't know that. I know that I can't live like this anymore. Maya's voice cracked. Every night I lie awake waiting for them to come. Every sound makes me jump. Every shadow makes me afraid. I can't do this forever, Jonathan. I have to fight back. Jonathan was silent. His hands were clenched at his sides. His jaw was tight. Finally, he spoke. Then I'm coming with you. What? If you're going to be bait, I'm going to be there, by your side, whatever happens. Maya stared at him. Why would you do that? Jonathan took a step toward her. Because you saved my son's life. Because you've done more for this family than anyone ever has. Because he stopped, looked away. Because I can't lose you. Maya felt her heart stop. Jonathan? I know it doesn't make sense. We barely know each other. But these past few weeks watching you with Ethan, watching you face down danger, without flinching, I've seen something in you. Something I've never seen in anyone else. He looked at her again. His eyes were vulnerable, open. You make me want to be better. You make me want to fight. You make me believe that maybe, just maybe, good people can actually win. Maya didn't know what to say. No one had ever spoken to her like that. No one had ever seen her like that. She had spent her whole life being invisible, being ignored, being dismissed. And now this man, this billionaire, was looking at her like she was the most important person in the world. I don't know what to say, she whispered. Say you'll let me help. Say you won't do this alone. Maya looked at him for a long moment, then she nodded. Okay, together. 3:15 p.m. The plan was set in motion. Detective Williams arranged for Maya to make a public appearance, a press conference at the hospital where Ethan had been treated. She would thank the doctors, thank the paramedics, tell her story. The media would eat it up. The black maid who saved the billionaire's baby. It was the kind of story that went viral, and Morrison would be watching. Maya stood in front of the mirror, getting ready. Dorothy came up behind her. You don't have to do this, baby. Yes, I do. There has to be another way. There isn't. Maya turned to face her grandmother. I know you're scared. I'm scared too. But I'm more scared of living the rest of my life in fear, of watching Ethan grow up with bodyguards everywhere, of always waiting for the other shoe to drop. Dorothy was quiet for a moment. Then she reached up and touched Maya's face. You look just like your mother. Same fire in your eyes. Same stubbornness in your jaw. She smiled sadly. She would be so proud of you. Maya felt tears welling up. What if I don't make it, Grandma? You'll make it. You're a Johnson woman. We always make it. How do you know? Dorothy pulled her into a hug. Because I pray every night, every morning, every moment in between, and God didn't bring you this far to let you fall now. Maya held on to her grandmother, the woman who had raised her, who had taught her everything she knew, who had given her the strength to survive. I love you, Grandma. I love you too, baby. Now go show those bastards what a Johnson woman is made of. 4:45 p.m. The press conference was packed. Reporters from every major network, cameras everywhere, microphones shoved in her face. Maya stood at the podium, heart pounding. Jonathan was beside her. Detective Williams was in the back, watching. Thank you all for coming, Maya began. Her voice was shaking. She took a breath, steadied herself. 3 weeks ago, I walked into a house to clean. I walked out a different person. She told her story. Finding Ethan, saving his life, the threats, the arrests, the reporters hung on every word. When she finished, the question started. Ms. Johnson, how does it feel to be called a hero, huh? I don't feel like a hero. I just did what anyone would do. Do you believe Vanessa Sterling and Derek Morrison will be convicted? I believe in justice. I believe the truth will come out. Are you afraid for your life? Maya paused. She looked into the cameras, knowing that somewhere Morrison was watching. I'm not afraid, she said. I have faith, I have family, and I have the truth on my side. Whoever is out there, whoever is watching, whoever thinks they can scare me into silence, hear this, I'm not going anywhere. I will fight. I will testify, and I will see justice done, no matter what it takes. The room erupted in applause. Maya stepped away from the podium. Jonathan caught her arm. That was incredible. It was terrifying. You didn't show it. He smiled. You were magnificent. Maya felt warmth spread through her chest. Then her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She opened the message. Brave words. Let's see how brave you are when I'm standing in front of you. Maya's blood ran cold. She showed it to Jonathan. His face hardened. He's watching. I know. This is what we wanted. We're drawing him out. I know. But knowing didn't make her any less afraid. 7:22 p.m. They returned to the mansion. The security team met them at the gate. 12 men now, armed, vigilant. Maya went straight to the nursery. Ethan was awake. The nanny they had hired, a woman named Rosa, who had been thoroughly vetted, was feeding him. Maya took him from her arms. I've got him. You can go. Gate. Rosa nodded and left. Maya sat in the rocking chair holding Ethan close. He looked up at her with his big blue eyes. Innocent. Trusting. I won't let anything happen to you, she whispered. I promise. Ethan grabbed her finger. That familiar grip. Strong. Determined. Just like his father. 8:45 p.m. Jonathan found her in the nursery. The FBI called. They've picked up chatter. Morrison is mobilizing. Maya's heart started pounding. What does that mean? It means he's planning something soon. They don't know what yet, but they're monitoring everything. Maya looked at Ethan now, asleep in his crib. When? They think within the next 48 hours. Maya felt cold. So we wait. So we wait. Jonathan sat down next to her. But we're ready. The security team knows. The FBI has agents in position. If he makes a move, we'll be ready. Maya nodded, but inside she was terrified. 48 hours. In 48 hours, this would all be over. One way or another. 30 p.m. Maya couldn't sleep. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, listening to every sound. A creak in the hallway made her jump. A car passing on the street made her tense. Every shadow was a threat. Every silence was a warning. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it, heart pounding. It was Dorothy. Can't sleep either, baby? Maya smiled despite herself. No, Grandma. Come to my room. I'll make us some tea. Maya got up and walked across the hall. Dorothy was sitting up in bed, a small kettle plugged in on the nightstand. I found this in the kitchen, she said. Figured we could both use something warm. Maya sat on the edge of the bed. Dorothy poured 2 cups and handed one to her. You know what your grandfather used to say? What? He used to say that the darkest hour is just before dawn. That when things feel the most hopeless, that's when God is about to move. Maya sipped her tea. It was warm. Comforting. Do you believe that? I've lived it. More times than I can count. Dorothy looked at her. The night before the march at Selma, I was so scared I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. I thought for sure I was going to die. But your grandfather held my hand and said, Dorothy, whatever happens tomorrow, we're on the right side, and the right side always wins. Did he really say that? He really did. And the next day we marched. We faced the dogs and the hoses and the hate, and we didn't break. Dorothy's eyes were shining. That's what Johnson women do, baby. We don't break. We bend. We cry. We bleed. But we don't break. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. I'm so scared, Grandma. I know, baby. I know. Dorothy put down her tea and pulled Maya into her arms. But being scared doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human, and being human is what makes you brave. They held each other for a long time. Finally, Maya pulled back. I should try to sleep. You should. Big day tomorrow. Maya started to leave, then stopped. Grandma. Yes, baby. Thank you for everything, for raising me, for teaching me, for being here. Dorothy smiled. That's what grandmothers are for. Maya went back to her room, and somehow, impossibly, she slept. 6:15 a.m. Day 2. Maya woke to the sound of her phone ringing. Detective Williams. Morrison made contact. He called Vanessa from a burner phone. We traced it to a warehouse on the docks. Maya sat up. Is he there now? We don't know. We're moving in to check. But, Maya, there's something else. What? They mentioned you by name. They said tonight is the night. Maya's blood ran cold. Tonight? We're increasing security. FBI agents will be inside the mansion. You won't be alone for a second. What about Jonathan? What about my grandmother? Everyone will be protected, I promise. Maya hung up and ran to find Jonathan. He was already in his office on the phone. I know, I just heard. Yes, double the team. I want men on every entrance, every window, every possible point of entry. No one gets in. No one. He hung up and looked at Maya. Tonight. Tonight. They stood there looking at each other. Are you ready, Hal? He asked. No, but I'm going to do it anyway. Jonathan walked toward her, stopped inches away. Maya, I need to tell you something. In case... Don't say in case. We're going to survive this. I know, but I still need to say it. He took her hands. These past few weeks have been the worst of my life. And the best. Because of you. You've shown me what courage looks like, what strength looks like, what love looks like. Maya's heart was pounding. Jonathan, I'm not asking for anything. I'm not expecting anything. I just need you to know. Whatever happens tonight, you changed my life. You saved my son. You saved me. Maya looked into his eyes, saw the fear, the hope, the truth. She squeezed his hands. We're going to get through this. Together. Together. They stood there for a moment longer. Then the spell broke. There was work to do, preparations to make. The longest day of their lives had just begun. 12:00 p.m. The FBI arrived. 8 agents in plain clothes. They spread out through the mansion, checking exits, setting up surveillance, coordinating with the security team. Agent Thompson, the lead agent, briefed them in the living room. Our intel suggests Morrison will attempt to breach the property between midnight and 4 a.m. He has a team of 4 to 6 men. They're armed and dangerous. Maya sat next to Jonathan, trying to focus on the words. We have snipers on the roof, agents at every entrance, motion sensors in the yard, thermal cameras on the perimeter. If anyone tries to get in, we'll know. And if they get through? Jonathan asked. They won't. But if they do, Agent Thompson paused. Then we fight, and we win. 4:30 p.m. Maya spent the afternoon with Ethan. She held him, fed him, played with him, memorized every detail of his face, just in case. Dorothy joined her after a while. He's getting so big, she said, watching Ethan play with a stuffed bear. He is. He looks like his father. He does. Dorothy was quiet for a moment. You love him, don't you? Maya looked at her grandmother. Ethan. And Jonathan. Maya felt her face flush. Grandma, don't deny it. I've seen the way you look at him, the way he looks at you. Dorothy smiled. It's okay, baby. Love is never wrong. It's complicated. It's always complicated. That doesn't make it less real. Maya looked at Ethan, at this baby who had changed everything. I do love him, she admitted. Both of them. I don't know when it happened. I don't know how, but I can't imagine my life without them. Dorothy nodded. Then fight for them tonight. Fight like you've never fought before. I will. And Maya, yes? Win. 8:00 p.m. Dinner was tense. Maya could barely eat. Neither could Jonathan. Dorothy forced them both to swallow a few bites. You need your strength, she said. Can't fight on an empty stomach. The security team was on high alert. The FBI agents were in position. Everything was ready, but the waiting was torture. 9:45 p.m. Maya put Ethan to bed. She sang to him, the same song her grandmother had taught her, the same song she had sung the day she saved his life. Ethan's eyes grew heavy, his breathing slowed. He was asleep. Maya kissed his forehead. I love you, little man. I'll see you in the morning. She walked to the door, looked back at him one more time, then closed the door and went to face whatever was coming. 11:15 p.m. The house was quiet. Too quiet. Maya sat in the living room with Jonathan. The FBI agents were at their posts. The security team was patrolling. Everything was still. Maya's phone buzzed. Unknown number. Her hand trembled as she opened it. "I can see you?" Maya's blood ran cold. She showed it to Jonathan. He grabbed his phone, called Agent Thompson. "He's watching. He sent a message. He can see us." Agent Thompson's voice was calm. "We know. We're tracking the signal. Stay where you are." Maya looked at the windows, at the darkness beyond. Where was he? How could he see them? Another message. "Your security is impressive, but I know something they don't." Maya's hands were shaking. "What?" she typed. "I have someone inside." Maya's heart stopped. She showed Jonathan. His face went white. "Inside? That's impossible. Everyone's been vetted." But even as he said it, Maya saw the doubt in his eyes. They looked around the room. The FBI agents, the security guards, the staff. Who was the traitor? 11:45 p.m. Agent Thompson burst into the room. "We have a problem. One of my agents isn't responding to radio checks." Jonathan stood up. "Which one?" "Agent Martinez. He was covering the east entrance." Maya felt ice in her veins. "Morrison said he has someone inside." Agent Thompson's face hardened. "That's not possible. All my agents have been with the Bureau for years." "Then where is Martinez?" No one had an answer. Agent Thompson grabbed his radio. "All units, code red. Agent Martinez is MIA. Possible hostile infiltration. Everyone check in. Now." The radio crackled with responses. 6 agents confirmed. 1 didn't. Agent Thompson cursed. "Martinez and 1 other. Collins. Neither is responding." Jonathan grabbed Maya's arm. "We need to get Ethan. Now." They ran. 11:52 p.m. Maya burst into the nursery. Ethan was in his crib, safe, sleeping. She scooped him up, heart pounding. "He's okay," she breathed. "He's okay." Jonathan was right behind her. He locked the door, pulled out a gun Maya didn't know he had. "Stay here. Don't open this door for anyone except me." "Where are you going?" "To find out what's happening." "Jonathan, I'll be back, I promise." He kissed her forehead, quick, desperate. Then he was gone. Maya held Ethan tight. The baby stirred, opened his eyes, looked at her. "It's okay, baby," she whispered. "Mama's got you." Mama. She had called herself his mother, and somehow it felt right. 12:03 a.m. Gunshots. Maya flinched. Ethan started crying. Shouts from downstairs. More gunshots. The sound of breaking glass. Maya backed away from the door, looked for somewhere to hide. The closet. It was big, deep. She ran inside, closed the door, sat in the corner holding Ethan against her chest. "Shh, baby. Shh. It's okay. Be quiet. Please be quiet." Ethan's cries softened. He seemed to sense the danger. His little body went still. Maya listened. Footsteps, coming up the stairs. Heavy, deliberate. Not Jonathan. Jonathan's footsteps were different. She knew them by now. These were a stranger's footsteps. Maya held her breath. The footsteps stopped outside the nursery. A pause. Then the door burst open. Maya heard it from inside the closet. The crash, the splintering wood. Someone was in the nursery. Come out, wherever you are." A man's voice, cold, amused. Maya didn't move, didn't breathe. "I know you're in here. I can hear the baby breathing." Ethan whimpered. Maya covered his mouth gently. Footsteps, coming closer. The closet door rattled. "Found you." The door flew open. A man stood there, tall, muscular, holding a gun. Agent Collins, the traitor. He smiled. "Hello, Maya. Derek sends his regards." 12:07 a.m. Maya stared at the gun in Collins's hand. "Please," she whispered. "Please don't hurt him. Give me the baby and I won't hurt you." "No," Collins's smile faded. "That wasn't a request." "I don't care. I'm not giving him to you." Collins raised the gun, pointed it at her head. "Last chance." Maya looked at him, at this man who had sold his soul for money. She thought about everything she had survived, everything she had overcome. She thought about her grandmother, about her mother, about all the Johnson women who had faced death and refused to blink. "No," she said again. Collins's finger tightened on the trigger, and then a shot rang out. Collins jerked. Blood bloomed on his chest. He looked down confused, then collapsed. Jonathan stood in the doorway, gun raised, hands shaking. "Maya, are you okay?" Maya couldn't speak. She was shaking too hard. Jonathan ran to her, pulled her into his arms. It's okay. It's okay. I've got you. Ethan was crying. Maya was crying. Jonathan was crying. They held each other in that closet, surrounded by danger, surrounded by death, but alive. They were alive. 12:15 a.m. The battle was over. Agent Thompson found them in the nursery. His face was grim but relieved. Morrison's men are down, 4 of them. Martinez and Collins were the traitors, both neutralized. And Morrison? Jonathan asked. Gone. He wasn't with them. He sent his men to do the dirty work. Maya felt rage building in her chest. So he's still out there. For now, but we'll find him. When? After he tries again, after he succeeds. Maya? No, I'm done waiting. I'm done being a target. She looked at Jonathan. We have to find him. We have to end this. Jonathan nodded slowly. She's right. We can't keep living like this. Agent Thompson was quiet for a moment. Then he said, There might be a way. Morrison has a weakness, his money. All of it is tied up in offshore accounts. If we can trace them, freeze them, we take away his power. How do we do that? I have a contact, a forensic accountant who specializes in this kind of thing. If anyone can find Morrison's money, she can. Do it, Jonathan said. Whatever it costs, whatever it takes. Agent Thompson nodded. I'll make the call. 2:30 a.m. The mansion was secure. The bodies had been removed. The damage was being repaired. The security team was doubled. Maya sat in the living room, Ethan asleep in her arms. Dorothy sat beside her, holding her hand. You did good tonight, baby. I was so scared. But you didn't give up. You didn't let go. Maya looked at Ethan, at his peaceful face. I couldn't. Not for him. Not ever. Dorothy squeezed her hand. That's love, baby. That's what love does. It makes us brave even when we're terrified. Jonathan walked in. He looked exhausted. But when he saw Maya, something in his face softened. The FBI is setting up a command center. They're going to find Morrison. Good. Jonathan sat down across from them. I owe you both an apology. I brought this danger into your lives. I should have... Stop. Maya cut him off. You didn't bring anything. That snake of a wife brought it. Morrison brought it. Not you. But if I had been smarter, if I had seen what Vanessa really was... You loved her. Or you thought you did. That's not a crime. Maya looked at him. What matters is what you do now, and right now you're fighting. You're protecting your son. You're being the father he needs. Jonathan's eyes glistened. I don't deserve you. Probably not, Maya smiled. But you've got me anyway. Something passed between them. Something unspoken, but understood. Dorothy cleared her throat. I'm going to bed. You two should get some rest too. She stood up, kissed Maya's forehead, and walked out, leaving them alone. Jonathan moved to sit beside Maya. Can I hold him? Maya carefully transferred Ethan to his arms. Jonathan looked down at his son, at this tiny person who had survived so much. I'm never going to let anyone hurt you again, he whispered. I swear it on my life. Maya leaned against his shoulder. We're going to get through this. I know. And when it's over, Jonathan looked at her. When it's over, I'm going to ask you something. Something I've been wanting to ask since the day you saved his life. Gee, Maya's heart started pounding. What? Jonathan smiled. You'll have to wait and see. Maya smiled back, and for the first time in weeks, she felt something other than fear. She felt hope. 5:47 a.m. Maya finally slept. Not peacefully, not deeply, but she slept. And when she woke, the sun was streaming through the windows and Ethan was crying for his breakfast and life was going on. Morrison was still out there. The danger was still real, but Maya was still standing. And as long as she was standing, she would fight. For Ethan, for Jonathan, for her grandmother, for herself. The battle wasn't over. But Maya Johnson was just getting started. 2 days had passed since the attack. Maya stood at the nursery window watching Ethan sleep. The bruise on her arm from where Collins had grabbed her was turning purple, but she barely felt it. The pain was nothing compared to the fear that still lived in her chest. Morrison was still out there, watching, waiting, planning. 8:15 a.m. Her phone rang. Agent Thompson. We found something. Can you come to the command center? I'm on my way. Maya handed Ethan to Rosa and ran downstairs. The FBI had converted Jonathan's study into a war room, screens everywhere, maps, photos, surveillance footage. Jonathan was already there, standing next to Agent Thompson. "What did you find?" Maya asked. Agent Thompson pointed to a screen showing bank records. "Our forensic accountant traced Morrison's money, $47 million in offshore accounts. Cayman Islands, Switzerland, Singapore. Can you freeze them? Already done. As of 6 a.m. this morning, Derek Morrison has no access to any of his funds." Maya felt a surge of hope. "So he's broke?" "Not quite. He still has cash reserves, maybe 2-3 million, but that won't last long." Agent Thompson pulled up another image. "And there's more. We found his hideout." Maya's heart stopped. On the screen was a photo of a warehouse. Run down. Industrial, isolated. "Where is that?" "Newark. About 40 minutes from here." Agent Thompson's face was grim. "He's been there for the past week. Our surveillance team has confirmed visual contact." Jonathan stepped forward. "Then why haven't you arrested him?" "Because he's not alone. He has at least 6 armed men with him, and we believe Vanessa Sterling is there too." Maya felt cold. "Vanessa is with him. They've been seen together multiple times. Whatever they're planning it together." Maya looked at the photo. At this warehouse where her enemies were hiding, where they were plotting her death. "So what's the plan?" Agent Thompson exchanged a look with Jonathan. "We want to draw them out, make them come to us on our terms." "How?" "A trap. We leak information that Jonathan is moving Ethan to a safe house tonight. Different location, reduced security, an easy target." Maya understood immediately. "You want them to attack the safe house?" "We want them to try. We'll be waiting." Maya felt sick. "And if something goes wrong?" "Nothing will go wrong. We'll have 50 agents in position, SWAT teams, snipers, everything." "You said that before, the night of the attack, and they still got inside." Agent Thompson's jaw tightened. "That was different. We had traitors. This time I'm vetting every single person myself." Jonathan spoke up. "I want to be there." "Mr. Sterling, I'm not asking permission. That man tried to kill my son. I want to look him in the eyes when you take him down." Agent Thompson hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but you stay behind the perimeter. No heroics." He turned to Maya. "What about you?" Maya thought about it. About the danger, about the risk, about Ethan. "I'll stay here, with the baby. If this is a distraction, if they're trying to draw everyone away from the mansion, someone needs to be here." Agent Thompson nodded slowly. "Smart. We'll leave a team with you. 10 agents, the best we have." Maya looked at Jonathan. He was watching her. His eyes said everything his words couldn't. "Be careful. I need you. Come back to me." She nodded. He nodded back. The trap was set. 12:30 p.m. The news was leaked. Agent Thompson fed false information to a journalist known for having loose lips. By noon, every major outlet was reporting that Jonathan Sterling was moving his son to an undisclosed location that night. Security concerns, fear of another attack. Maya watched the reports from the nursery. Dorothy sat beside her. "You sure about this?" "No, but what choice do we have? We can't live like this forever. You could run, take Ethan, disappear, and spend the rest of our lives looking over our shoulders, no." Maya shook her head. "This ends tonight, one way or another." Dorothy was quiet for a moment. "Your grandfather used to say that the only way to kill a snake is to cut off its head. You crush the body, it still bites. But you take the head, it's done. Morrison is the head. Morrison is the head. You get him, this is over." Maya looked at Ethan. He was playing with his stuffed bear, completely unaware of the danger surrounding him. "I'll get him," Maya said. "Whatever it takes." 3:47 p.m. Jonathan came to say goodbye. Maya met him in the hallway outside the nursery. His face was tense, determined. "I should be back by morning." "You better be." He tried to smile, failed. "Maya, if something happens." "Don't. You said that before. Nothing is going to happen." "I know, but just in case." He took her hands. "I need you to know something. Something I should have said a long time ago." Maya's heart was pounding. "Jonathan, I love you." The words hung in the air between them. Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't think. "I know it's crazy. I know we've only known each other for a month, but I've never been more certain of anything in my life." He squeezed her hands. "You're the best person I've ever known. You save my son. You save me. And whatever happens tonight, I need you to know that." Maya felt tears streaming down her face. "I love you too." Jonathan pulled her into his arms, held her tight. They stood there for a long moment, holding each other, not wanting to let go. Finally, Jonathan pulled back. "I have to go." "I know." He kissed her. Deep, desperate, like it might be the last time. Then he was gone. Maya stood in the hallway, heart aching, watching him walk away. "Please come back," she thought. "Please come back to me." 6:15 p.m. The mansion went into lockdown. 10 FBI agents spread out through the house. Every entrance guarded, every window monitored. Maya stayed in the nursery with Ethan and Dorothy. The waiting began. 7:30 p.m. Maya's phone buzzed. Unknown number, her blood ran cold. She opened the message. "Did you really think I'd fall for such an obvious trap?" Maya's heart stopped. Another message. "Jonathan is walking into nothing. The real party is at the mansion, and I'm already here." Maya dropped the phone. "No?" she whispered. "No, no, no." She grabbed her phone and called Agent Thompson. No answer. She called Jonathan. No answer. She ran to the door. An FBI agent was standing outside. "I need to reach Agent Thompson. Now. Morrison isn't going to the safe house. He's here. He's already here." The agent's face went pale. He grabbed his radio. "All units code red. Possible hostile presence on the property. I repeat, code red." The radio crackled with responses. "East wing clear. West wing clear. Main floor clear. Perimeter clear." Everything was clear, but Morrison had said he was already here. How Maya's mind raced. If he wasn't outside, if he wasn't in the house, then where? And then it hit her. The tunnels. Jonathan had mentioned them once. Old service tunnels from when the mansion was built in the 1800s. They ran under the house connecting to the old carriage house on the edge of the property. Nobody used them anymore. Nobody even thought about them, except someone who had studied the mansion's blueprints. Someone who had been planning this for months. "The tunnels," Maya said. "He's coming through the tunnels." "What tunnels?" "Under the house. There are tunnels. They connect to the old carriage house." The agent grabbed his radio. "All units, check the basement. There are tunnels. Tunnels under the house." Footsteps, running, shouts, and then gunfire. 8:02 p.m., the shooting started in the basement. Maya grabbed Ethan and ran to the closet. Dorothy followed. They huddled in the darkness, listening to the chaos below. More gunfire, screaming, breaking glass. Maya held Ethan against her chest. He was crying. She covered his mouth gently. "Shh, baby. Shh. Please be quiet." Dorothy was praying, whispering words Maya couldn't hear. The gunfire got closer. Footsteps on the stairs, running, coming up. Maya's heart was pounding so hard she could barely breathe. The nursery door burst open. Maya pressed herself against the back of the closet, held Ethan tight. Footsteps in the nursery, heavy, deliberate. "Come out, Maya." That voice, she knew that voice, Vanessa. "I know you're in there. I can hear the baby." Maya didn't move. The closet door rattled. "Don't make me come in there." Silence. Then the door was ripped open. Vanessa stood there. Beautiful, immaculate, holding a gun. "Hello, Maya. Miss me?" 8:05 p.m. Maya stared at the gun in Vanessa's hand. "Please, don't hurt him. He's your stepson." Vanessa laughed. It was a cold, ugly sound. "Stepson? That thing ruined my life. Do you know what I went through? 9 months of pregnancy, stretch marks, weight gain, and for what? A screaming brat who kept me from everything I wanted. He's a baby, an innocent baby. He's a meal ticket. And as long as he's alive, I don't get my money." Vanessa raised the gun. "Now hand him over." Maya held Ethan tighter. "No. You're going to die for someone else's child, a white baby, a rich man's son." Vanessa shook her head. "You're even dumber than I thought." "I'd die for any child. That's the difference between us." Vanessa's face twisted with rage. "Give me the baby." "No." Vanessa pointed the gun at Maya's head. "I'll kill you, right here, right now, and then I'll take him anyway." Maya looked into Vanessa's eyes, saw the madness, the desperation, and she knew. Vanessa was going to pull that trigger. Whether Maya gave up Ethan or not, Vanessa was going to kill her. So she did the only thing she could. She threw herself at Vanessa. 8:07 p.m. The gun went off. Maya felt a burning pain in her shoulder, but she didn't stop. She tackled Vanessa to the ground. The gun flew from Vanessa's hand. They struggled, clawing, scratching, fighting. Vanessa was stronger than she looked. She got on top of Maya, wrapped her hands around Maya's throat. "I'm going to kill you," she hissed. "I'm going to squeeze the life out of you, and then I'm going to throw that baby out the window." Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Her vision was going dark. And then Dorothy was there. Maya's grandmother brought the Bible down on Vanessa's head with all the strength she had. Vanessa collapsed. Maya gasped for air, crawled away. Dorothy stood over Vanessa. Bible raised, ready to hit her again. You come near my granddaughter or that baby one more time and I'll send you straight to hell. Vanessa didn't move. Maya scrambled to her feet. Her shoulder was bleeding. Her throat was bruised, but she was alive. Ethan was crying in the closet. Maya ran to him, picked him up. It's okay, baby. It's okay. I've got you. Footsteps in the hallway. Maya spun around, expecting more enemies, but it was an FBI agent, bleeding from a cut on his forehead, but alive. The basement is clear. We got Morrison's men. He looked at Vanessa on the floor. Is that Vanessa Sterling? Restrain her, now. The agent cuffed Vanessa while Dorothy kept watch. Maya held Ethan and tried to calm her racing heart. It wasn't over yet. Morrison was still out there. 8:15 p.m., Maya's phone rang. Jonathan. She answered immediately. Maya, are you okay? I heard gunfire over the radio. I'm okay. We're okay. Vanessa came through the tunnels. She tried to take Ethan. Where is she now? Cuffed. The FBI has her. Maya's voice broke. But Morrison, where is Morrison? He's not here. The safe house was empty. It was a diversion. Maya felt ice in her veins. Then where is he? I don't know. I'm coming back. Stay where you are. Don't move. Jonathan. The line went dead. Maya looked at her phone. No signal. She ran to the window, looked outside, and saw him. Derek Morrison was standing in the garden, looking up at her, smiling. He raised his hand, waved, then he lifted something to his lips. A radio. Hello, Maya. I told you I was already here. The voice came through every speaker in the house. He had hacked into the intercom system. Your FBI friends are busy in the basement. Your boyfriend is 40 minutes away. It's just you and me now. Maya backed away from the window. What do you want? You know what I want. The baby. Bring him to me and I'll let you and the old woman live. I don't believe you. Morrison laughed. Smart girl. You're right. I'm going to kill you all anyway. But at least this way, you can choose how you die. Quick and clean or slow and painful. Maya's mind was racing. She couldn't run. Morrison was watching the house. She couldn't fight. She was injured and Morrison was a trained killer. But she could stall. How did you get past the security? Oh, Maya, you still don't understand. I've been planning this for years. I know every inch of this property, every entrance, every exit, every weakness. The tunnels. The service passages, the old wine cellar that connects to the garden shed. I've been in and out of this house a dozen times without anyone noticing. Maya felt sick. He had been inside, watching them, learning their routines. Why? She asked. Why all of this just for money? Just for money, Morrison's voice hardened. Do you know what $3 billion can buy power? Influence, freedom, the ability to do whatever I want whenever I want without consequences. You already had millions. Millions aren't billions. Millions are nothing. Billions are everything. He paused. But you wouldn't understand that. You're just a cleaning lady. Maya felt rage building in her chest. I'm the cleaning lady who ruined your plan. I'm the cleaning lady who saved the baby you tried to kill. I'm the cleaning lady who's going to watch you rot in prison. Morrison laughed again. Brave words, but you're forgetting something. What? I have nothing left to lose. 8:23 p.m. The lights went out. Every light in the mansion, every screen, every system. Morrison had cut the power. Maya stood in the darkness, holding Ethan, heart pounding. Grandma, she called out. I'm here, baby, right here. Maya reached for her grandmother's hand in the darkness. We need to move. Find the FBI agents. They started walking, slowly, carefully. Maya knew this house. She had cleaned it for months. She knew every room, every hallway, every corner. But in the darkness, everything felt different. Wrong. A sound behind them. Footsteps. Maya froze. Run, she whispered to Dorothy. Get to the agents. I'll hold him off. I'm not leaving you. Grandma, please, take Ethan. Keep him safe. Maya pressed Ethan into Dorothy's arms. Go, now. Dorothy hesitated, then nodded. She disappeared into the darkness. Maya turned to face the footsteps. 8:27 p.m. Derek Morrison emerged from the shadows. He was holding a gun, but he wasn't pointing it at her. He was smiling. You sent the baby away. Brave? Stupid, but brave. What do you want, Morrison? I told you, the baby. You're not getting him. Then you're going to pie. Then I'm going to die. Morrison tilted his head, studying her. You fascinate me, Maya. You're nobody. Nothing. A cleaning lady from the projects. And yet you've caused me more problems than anyone in my entire career. Maybe that says something about you. Morrison laughed. Maybe it does. He raised the gun. Any last words? Maya looked at him. At this man who had tried to destroy everything she loved. Yeah, one. What? Duck. Morrison frowned. What? A gunshot rang out. Morrison spun. Fell. Behind him, Jonathan stood in the doorway, gun raised, face hard. Stay away from my family. 8:29 p.m. Morrison was on the ground, but not dead. The bullet had hit his shoulder. He was bleeding, gasping, but alive. Jonathan kicked the gun away from Morrison's hand. It's over, Morrison. You lost. Morrison laughed. Blood bubbled at his lips. You think this is over. You think killing me ends anything. What are you talking about? I have partners, associates, people who will continue what I started. This isn't about me anymore. It's about what I represent. Jonathan grabbed Morrison by the collar. Who give me names? Morrison smiled. That cold, dead smile. You'll never know, but they'll know you. They'll know your son. And one day, when you least expect it, they'll come for everything you love. Jonathan's face went pale. Maya stepped forward. He's lying. He's trying to scare us. Am I? Morrison looked at her. Ask yourself, Maya, why did I come here tonight? I knew it was a trap. I knew the FBI was waiting. Why would I walk into certain death? Maya's blood ran cold. Because this isn't your only plan. Smart girl. You always were smart. Morrison coughed. More blood. Right now, as we speak, my associates are accessing every account, every investment, every asset Jonathan Sterling owns. By morning, you'll be broke, and the baby you fought so hard to save will be worthless. Jonathan pulled out his phone, started making calls. Catherine, check the accounts. All of them, now. Maya watched Morrison, saw the triumph in his eyes. Even dying, he thought he had won. You're pathetic, she said. Excuse me. You spent years planning this, years manipulating people, hurting people, killing people. And for what money power? Maya shook her head. You have nothing, Morrison? No love? No family? No one who will mourn you when you're gone? Morrison's smile flickered. I have everything. You have nothing. You're empty, hollow. And that emptiness is why you're lying on the floor right now, bleeding out while I'm standing here with everything that matters. Morrison stared at her. You're wrong. Am I? Look around. Where are your loyal associates? Where are your partners? They're not here. They abandoned you, because people like you always end up alone. Morrison's face changed. The triumph faded, replaced by something else. Fear. He knew she was right. Damn you, he whispered. No, Morrison. Damn you. FBI agents burst into the room. They surrounded Morrison, called for medical help. Maya stepped back. Let them work. Jonathan came to her side. The accounts are fine. He was bluffing. I know. How did you know? Maya looked at Morrison being loaded onto a stretcher. Because men like him always bluff. It's all they have. 9:15 p.m. The mansion was swarming with FBI agents and police. Morrison was in custody. Vanessa was in custody. Their entire network was being dismantled. Maya sat on the couch in the living room, a paramedic bandaging her shoulder. The bullet had grazed her. Painful, but not serious. Dorothy sat beside her, still clutching her Bible. Ethan was in Maya's lap finally. Calm, finally quiet. Jonathan knelt in front of her. It's over. It's really over. Is it? Morrison is going away for life. Vanessa, too. Their associates are being rounded up as we speak. He took her hand. We're safe, Maya. We're finally safe. Maya wanted to believe him, wanted to let go of the fear, but after everything that had happened, it was hard. I almost died tonight. I know. We all almost died. I know. Jonathan squeezed her hand. But we didn't. We survived. Because of you. Maya looked at Ethan. At this baby she had saved. Twice. 3 times. I love him, Jonathan. Like he was my own. He is yours. In every way that matters. Jonathan's voice was soft. And so am I. Maya looked up at him. What? I told you earlier. I love you. And when this is over, I'm going to ask you something. You said that, but you never told me what. Jonathan smiled. Maya Jean Johnson, will you marry me? Maya's heart stopped. She stared at him. At this man who had changed her life. Who had given her everything. Jonathan, you don't have to answer now. I know it's fast, I know it's crazy, but I've never been more sure of anything in my life. He looked at her, at Ethan, at Dorothy. I want us to be a family, a real family, together. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. She looked at her grandmother. Dorothy was smiling, tears in her own eyes. What do you think, Grandma? I think you should say yes before he changes his mind. Maya laughed. It came out as a sob. She looked back at Jonathan. Yes? Jonathan's face lit up. Yes? Yes? I'll marry you? Jonathan pulled her into his arms, held her tight. Ethan laughed between them, happy, oblivious. Dorothy put her arms around both of them, and for the first time in weeks, Maya felt peace, real peace, the kind that comes from knowing you're exactly where you're supposed to be. 11:30 p.m. Detective Williams found them in the living room. He looked exhausted, but there was a smile on his face. I just got word. Morrison is talking. Giving up everyone. Maya looked up. Why would he do that? Because he's scared. Because he knows he's going to prison for the rest of his life, and he wants protection. Detective Williams sat down across from them. Whatever you said to him, Maya, it broke him. I told him the truth. Well, the truth worked. Detective Williams pulled out a notepad. We've arrested 12 more people in the past 3 hours. Business partners, accountants, lawyers, everyone who helped him. What about Vanessa? She's cooperating too, trying to cut a deal. Detective Williams shook his head. But there's no deal for what she did. She's going away for a long time. Maya felt a weight lift off her shoulders. So it's really over. It's really over. Detective Williams stood up. You did good, Maya. Better than good. You saved a lot of lives tonight. I almost lost mine. But you didn't, and that's what matters. He extended his hand. It's been an honor working with you. Maya shook his hand. Thank you, Detective, for everything. Detective Williams nodded. Then he was gone. Maya leaned back against the couch. Jonathan put his arm around her. Dorothy was already dozing in the chair across from them. Ethan was asleep in Maya's lap. Everything was quiet, peaceful, safe. Maya closed her eyes. And for the first time since that morning 4 weeks ago when she walked into the nursery and found Ethan dying, she let herself relax, let herself believe that everything was going to be okay. 3:45 a.m. Maya woke to the sound of Ethan crying. She sat up immediately alert. But it wasn't danger, it was just a hungry baby. She picked him up and walked to the kitchen, made his bottle, fed him his, while watching the sun start to rise through the window. Jonathan found her there an hour later. Couldn't sleep. Habit, I wake up at every sound. That'll fade, eventually. Will it? Jonathan stood beside her, watched the sunrise. It took me years to stop checking the locks every night, years to stop looking over my shoulder. But it does fade, Maya. The fear, the paranoia, it gets better. How do you know? Because I lived through something similar. Years ago, before I was successful, before I had money. He paused. Someone tried to hurt me. Someone I trusted. It changed me. Made me hard. Suspicious. What happened to them? They went to prison, served their time, got out, and now they're nobody. Jonathan looked at her. That's the thing about people who try to destroy you. They fail, and then they fade away, while you keep going, keep growing, keep living. Maya thought about Morrison, about Vanessa, about everything they had put her through. I don't want to be hard. I don't want to be suspicious. You won't be. You're too good for that. Jonathan took her hand. You have something they never had. Love, family, purpose. That's what makes you strong. Not anger, not fear. Love. Maya looked at Ethan, at this baby who had changed everything. I do love him. I know. And I love you. I know that too. Jonathan smiled. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life making sure you never forget it. Maya leaned against him. They stood there together watching the sunrise, holding on to each other. A new day. A new beginning. A new life. And Maya was ready for all of it. 8:00 a.m. The news broke. Every channel was covering the story. Derek Morrison, Vanessa Sterling, the attempted murder of a billionaire's baby, the black maid who saved him. Maya's face was everywhere. She watched the coverage from the living room, feeling surreal. Hero Maid saves billionaire baby. Love story born from tragedy. From cleaning lady to family. Dorothy came up behind her. You're famous, baby. I don't want to be famous. Too late. Dorothy sat beside her. The whole world knows your name now. Maya thought about her life, about where she had been 4 weeks ago, cleaning houses, working 3 jobs, struggling to pay bills, and now she was engaged to a billionaire, living in a mansion, about to become the mother of the baby she had saved. It felt like a dream she was afraid to wake up from. Grandma, yes, baby, is this real? Dorothy took her hand. It's real, baby, every bit of it. How do you know? Because I can feel your hand. I can see your face. I can hear your voice. Dorothy squeezed her hand. This is real, and you deserve every bit of it. Maya felt tears in her eyes. I'm scared. Of what? That something will go wrong, that I'll wake up and it'll all be gone. Dorothy pulled her close. Listen to me, Maya Jean Johnson. You have fought harder and survived more than anyone I've ever known. You have earned this happiness. Don't let fear steal it from you. Maya held on to her grandmother. I love you, Grandma. I love you too, baby. Now stop crying and go be happy. That's an order. Maya laughed through her tears. Yes, ma'am. 12 p.m. A lawyer arrived at the mansion. Not Jonathan's lawyer. A different one. Someone Maya had never seen before. She met him in the study with Jonathan. Ms. Johnson, my name is Thomas Wells. I represent the estate of Margaret Sterling. Maya frowned. Who? Jonathan's mother. She passed away 5 years ago. The lawyer opened a briefcase. Before her death, she established a trust, a provision for whoever proved themselves worthy of being part of the Sterling family. Maya looked at Jonathan. He looked as confused as she felt. I don't understand. Mrs. Sterling knew her son, knew he would likely marry someone who didn't truly love him, so she created this trust as a test. Anyone who demonstrated genuine love and sacrifice for the Sterling family would be entitled to its contents. The lawyer pulled out a document. Ms. Johnson, you have more than proven yourself. By saving Ethan's life, by risking your own, by standing by this family through everything. He handed her the document. This trust contains $25 million. It's yours. Maya's hands were shaking. I can't accept this. You don't have a choice. Mrs. Sterling's instructions were very specific. The money goes to whoever earns it, and you've earned it. Maya looked at Jonathan. He was smiling, tears in his eyes. My mother knew. Somehow she knew. He took Maya's hand. She would have loved you, Maya. She would have loved everything about you. Maya didn't know what to say. $25 million. More money than she had ever dreamed of. But it wasn't the money that made her cry. It was the knowledge that somewhere, somehow, Jonathan's mother had believed in her, had prepared for her, had loved her before they ever met. Thank you, Maya whispered. She didn't know if she was thanking the lawyer, or Jonathan, or Margaret Sterling, maybe all of them, maybe something bigger. 6:00 p.m. Maya stood at the nursery window watching the sunset. Ethan was in her arms, fed, bathed, happy. Jonathan came up behind her, wrapped his arms around both of them. What are you thinking? I'm thinking about how different my life was a month ago, how scared I was, how alone. And now I have everything I ever wanted. Maya turned to face him. A family, a home, a purpose. And me, Maya smiled. Especially you. Jonathan kissed her, soft, tender. Ethan gurgled between them. They both laughed. I think he approves, Jonathan said. I think he does too. They stood there together, the three of them, watching the last light fade from the sky. A family. Imperfect, unexpected, unplanned, but real. More real than anything Maya had ever known, and she was never going to let it go. 6 months had passed. Maya stood in front of the courthouse cameras, flashing reporters, shouting questions. Jonathan was beside her, holding her hand. Ethan was with Dorothy back at the mansion, safe and protected. Today was the day. Derek Morrison and Vanessa Sterling were about to learn their fate. 9:00 a.m. The courtroom was packed. Media from every major outlet. Families of other victims Morrison had destroyed over the years. Supporters of Maya who had followed her story from the beginning. Maya sat in the front row, heart pounding. Jonathan squeezed her hand. Whatever happens, we got through it. Together. I know, but I need to hear the words. I need to know it's really over. The bailiff called the court to order. Judge Patricia Henderson, a stern black woman in her 60s, took her seat. This court is now in session. We are here for the sentencing of Derek Morrison and Vanessa Sterling. Morrison was brought in first. Maya hadn't seen him since that night at the mansion. He looked different, smaller. The expensive suits were gone. The arrogant smile was gone. He was just a man, a broken, defeated man. He didn't look at Maya, didn't look at anyone. Vanessa came next. She looked worse than Morrison. Her hair was stringy, her face was gaunt. Prison had not been kind to her, but when she saw Maya, something flickered in her eyes. Hatred, pure undiluted hatred. Maya met her gaze, didn't flinch. I survived you, that look said, and you didn't break me. 9:15 a.m. The prosecutor stood. Your Honor, the people have submitted detailed evidence of the defendant's crimes. Attempted murder, conspiracy, racketeering, money laundering, these are not crimes of passion. These are calculated, deliberate acts designed to kill an innocent child for financial gain. Maya felt her stomach tighten. Hearing it laid out like that, so clinical, so cold, made her sick. The prosecutor continued. Derek Morrison masterminded this operation. He groomed Vanessa Sterling for years, manipulated her, used her, all to gain access to the Sterling fortune. Morrison's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client accepts full responsibility for his actions. He is prepared to serve whatever sentence this court deems appropriate. The judge looked at Morrison. Mr. Morrison, do you have anything to say before I pronounce sentence? Morrison stood slowly. I do, Your Honor. Maya held her breath. Morrison turned, looked directly at her. I underestimated you, Maya Johnson. I thought you were nobody, nothing, just another cleaning lady who would be forgotten. He paused. I was wrong. You are the strongest person I have ever encountered, and I will spend the rest of my life regretting that I didn't see it sooner. Maya felt tears in her eyes. Not tears of sadness. Tears of vindication. Morrison turned back to the judge. I accept my punishment, whatever it may be. Judge Henderson nodded. Derek Morrison, you have been found guilty of attempted murder in the first-degree conspiracy to commit murder, racketeering, money laundering, and 17 other charges. This court sentences you to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Morrison didn't react, just nodded once and sat down. The courtroom erupted. Maya felt Jonathan's arm around her, felt herself shaking. Life in prison. He was never getting out. It was really over. 9:32 a.m. Vanessa was next. She stood when the judge called her name. Her hands were trembling. Vanessa Sterling, do you have anything to say before I pronounce sentence? Vanessa looked at the judge, then at Maya. I want to say something to her. The judge hesitated. Very well, briefly. Vanessa turned to face Maya fully. You think you've won? You think you're going to live happily ever after with my husband and my money? Her voice was bitter, venomous. But you'll never be one of them. You'll always be the help, the cleaning lady. No matter how many rings he puts on your finger, no matter how many babies you have, you will never belong in that world. Maya stood up. Jonathan tried to hold her back, but she pulled away. She walked to the bar, separating her from Vanessa. You're right about one thing, Vanessa. I'll never be one of them. I'll never be cold. I'll never be cruel. I'll never try to murder an innocent child for money. Maya's voice was steady, strong. But here's what you don't understand. I don't want to be one of them. I want to be me, Maya Jean Johnson, a woman who came from nothing and earned everything, a woman who saved a baby's life with her bare hands, a woman who looked death in the face and didn't blink. She leaned closer. You tried to destroy me. You failed. You tried to kill that baby. You failed. You tried to win, and you lost. Maya straightened. So enjoy your prison cell, Vanessa. Think about me every day. Think about Ethan calling me Mama. Think about Jonathan holding me every night. Think about everything you threw away because you were too greedy, too selfish, too stupid to appreciate what you had. Maya turned and walked back to her seat. The courtroom was silent. Vanessa's face was white with rage. Judge Henderson cleared her throat. Vanessa Sterling, you have been found guilty of attempted murder in the first degree and conspiracy to commit murder. This court sentences you to 25 years in prison with the possibility of parole after 15 years. Vanessa screamed. No, no, this isn't fair. She's lying. They're all lying. The bailiffs grabbed her, dragged her out of the courtroom. Her screams echoed down the hallway, then faded, then silence. Jonathan pulled Maya into his arms. It's over, he whispered. It's finally over. Maya held on to him and cried. Tears of relief. Tears of joy. Tears of everything she had been holding inside for 6 months. It was over. They had won. 12:00 p.m. Maya held a press conference outside the courthouse. Reporters surrounded her. Microphones everywhere. "Ms. Johnson, how do you feel about the verdict?" "I feel grateful. Grateful for justice. Grateful for the police and FBI who worked so hard. Grateful for everyone who supported us through this nightmare." "What's next for you?" Maya smiled. Next, I'm going to marry the man I love. I'm going to raise the baby I saved. I'm going to live my life." She paused. "And I'm going to remember every single day how lucky I am to be alive." "Do you have any message for other people facing impossible situations?" Maya thought about it. "Don't give up, ever, no matter how dark things get, no matter how scared you are, no matter how hopeless it seems. Keep fighting, keep believing, keep going." She looked into the cameras. "Because good people can win, justice can prevail, and miracles do happen, I'm living proof." The reporters erupted with more questions, but Maya was done. She took Jonathan's hand and walked away. Toward their car, toward their home, toward their future. Together. 3:30 p.m. They arrived home to a celebration. Dorothy had organized a small party, just family and close friends. Detective Williams was there. Agent Thompson. Rosa the nanny. A few others who had helped them through the ordeal. Ethan was in a high chair, wearing a bib that said "Justice Served." Maya laughed when she saw it. "Grandma, where did you get that?" "Made it myself. Figured the little man should have something to remember this day." Maya picked up Ethan and held him close. "You hear that, little man? The bad people are gone. You're safe now. Forever." Ethan grabbed her nose and giggled. Maya felt her heart overflow. This was what she had fought for. This moment. This joy. This family. Jonathan came up behind her. "There's something I need to show you." "What?" "Come with me." He took her hand and led her outside, through the garden, to the old gazebo at the edge of the property. Inside the gazebo was a small table, 2 chairs, a bottle of champagne, and a velvet box. Maya's heart started pounding. "Jonathan, what is this? I know I already proposed, and you already said yes, but I wanted to do it properly." He got down on one knee. "I wanted to give you a moment to remember. A moment that's just about us. About how far we've come. About how much I love you." He opened the velvet box. Inside was a ring, a diamond so big it took Maya's breath away. "Maya Jean Johnson, you saved my son's life. You saved my life. You showed me what courage looks like, what love looks like, what family looks like." His voice broke. "I don't deserve you. I know that. But I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to be worthy of you." Maya was crying too hard to speak. "Will you marry me not because you already said yes, but because right here, right now, in this moment, you want to spend your life with me as much as I want to spend mine with you?" Maya dropped to her knees in front of him. "Yes, 1,000,000 times, yes." Jonathan slipped the ring on her finger, then he kissed her, and everything else faded away. 6:00 p.m. The party continued into the evening. Maya sat on the couch, exhausted but happy. Dorothy sat beside her. "You did good, baby, real good." "I couldn't have done it without you, Grandma." "Yes, you could have, but I'm glad you didn't have to." Dorothy took her hand. "Your mama is watching right now. I know she is, and she's so proud of you." Maya felt tears in her eyes. "I miss her, Grandma." "I know, baby. I miss her too, every day." Dorothy squeezed her hand. "But she's not really gone. She lives on in you, in your strength, in your courage, in the way you love." Maya leaned against her grandmother. "I love you, Grandma." "I love you too, baby, more than you'll ever know." They sat there together watching the celebration around them. Family, friends, love, everything Maya had ever wanted, everything she had earned. 9:00 p.m. Detective Williams found Maya alone in the garden. "Mind if I join you?" "Please?" He sat beside her on the bench. "Hell of a day. Hell of a 6 months." He laughed. "That's true." They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. "You know," Detective Williams said, "in 25 years on the job, I've seen a lot of people. Victims, criminals, witnesses, heroes." He looked at her. "You're the most remarkable person I've ever met." Maya felt herself blush. "I'm not remarkable. I just did what I had to do." "That's what makes you remarkable. You didn't choose this. You didn't ask for it. It was thrust upon you, and you rose to the occasion." "Howdy." He shook his head. Most people crumble under that kind of pressure. You got stronger? I had help. We all need help, but help only gets you so far. The rest is on you. He stood up. I just wanted to say it's been an honor knowing you, Maya Johnson. The world needs more people like you. Maya stood and hugged him. Thank you, Detective, for everything. Call me Marcus. I think we've earned first names by now. Maya smiled. Thank you, Marcus. He nodded and walked away. Maya stood alone in the garden looking up at the stars. 1 year ago, she had been a cleaning lady with nothing, working 3 jobs, barely surviving. Now she was engaged to a billionaire, mother to a beautiful baby, loved by people she never imagined knowing. How did this happen? How did her life change so completely? She didn't know, but she was grateful. More grateful than words could express. 3 months later, the wedding day arrived. Maya stood in front of the mirror, hardly recognizing herself. Her dress was simple but elegant, white silk that hugged her curves and flowed to the floor. Her hair was done in an elaborate updo. Her makeup was perfect. Dorothy stood behind her, eyes wet with tears. You look just like your mother on her wedding day. Maya turned around. Really? Really? Same dress style, same smile, same glow? Dorothy wiped her eyes. She would be so happy, baby, so proud. Maya hugged her grandmother. I wish she was here. She is, right here. Dorothy placed her hand over Maya's heart. She's always with you. A knock on the door. Maya, it's time. Maya took a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. 11:00 a.m. The ceremony was held in the mansion's garden. Just 50 guests, family and close friends. The people who had stood by them through everything. Maya walked down the aisle on Dorothy's arm. Jonathan stood at the altar, tears streaming down his face. He had never looked more handsome, more happy, more in love. Ethan was in Rosa's arms, wearing a tiny tuxedo. He waved when he saw Maya. Maya waved back. Her heart was so full she thought it might burst. She reached the altar. Dorothy kissed her cheek and sat down. Jonathan took her hands. You're the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Don't make me cry. I'll ruin my makeup. I don't care about makeup. I care about you. Maya smiled through her tears. The officiant began. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the union of Jonathan Michael Sterling and Maya Jean Johnson. Maya listened to the words, but she was watching Jonathan, watching his eyes, watching his smile. This man had changed her life, had given her everything, and she loved him more than she had ever loved anyone. Jonathan, do you take Maya to be your lawfully wedded wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? I do. Maya, do you take Jonathan to be your lawfully wedded husband, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, until death do you part? Maya looked at him, at this man who had believed in her when no one else did, who had fought for her, risked everything for her. I do. Then by the power vested in me by the state of Connecticut, I now pronounce you husband and wife. The officiant smiled. You may kiss the bride. Jonathan pulled her into his arms and kissed her. The crowd erupted in applause. Ethan squealed with delight. Dorothy was sobbing, and Maya was the happiest she had ever been. 2:00 p.m. The reception was a blur of joy and celebration, dancing, toasts, laughter, tears. Maya's feet hurt from her heels. Her face hurt from smiling. Her heart hurt from being so full of love. Jonathan held her on the dance floor, swaying gently to a slow song. Happy? Happier than I've ever been. Good, because this is just the beginning. He pulled back and looked at her. We're going to have an amazing life together, Maya Sterling. Maya felt a thrill at her new name. Maya Sterling. Mrs. Maya Sterling. I like the sound of that. So do I. They kissed again, and the world disappeared. 5:30 p.m. A moment Maya would never forget. Ethan took his first steps. He had been getting stronger for weeks, standing on his own, cruising along furniture, but he hadn't walked yet. Until that moment. Maya was sitting on the couch. Jonathan was across the room. Ethan was between them, holding onto a chair. He let go, wobbled, took one step, then another, and walked straight to Maya. She caught him, lifted him up, laughed and cried at the same time. You did it, you walked. Jonathan, did you see that? He walked. Jonathan ran over and scooped them both into his arms. I saw, my boy walked. They held each other, the three of them, celebrating this tiny miracle. Dorothy came in from the kitchen. What's all the commotion? Ethan walked Grandma. He took his first steps. Dorothy's face lit up. Well, praise God, let me see. They set Ethan down. He wobbled again, took a few more steps, fell down, looked surprised. Everyone laughed. Maya picked him up again. It's okay, baby. You'll get better, just like everything else. Ethan grabbed her nose and giggled, and Maya knew in that moment that this was what life was supposed to be. Love, family, joy. Everything else was just noise. 8:00 p.m. A call from Detective Williams. Maya answered with a smile. Marcus, how are you? I'm good, Maya, real good. He paused. I have news. Maya felt her smile fade. What kind of news? Don't worry, it's good news. Sulpi, she could hear him smiling through the phone. Remember Kevin Rhodes, the guy who was taking photos outside the mansion? Of course. He finished testifying today, gave up the last of Morrison's associates. We've now arrested everyone connected to the operation. Maya exhaled. Everyone. It's completely dismantled. No one left to cause trouble. Maya felt tears in her eyes. Thank you, Marcus, for everything. Just doing my job, but Maya? Yes. You did more than any of us. Never forget that. Maya hung up and sat in silence for a moment. It was really over. Not just legally over, completely over. No more threats, no more danger, no more looking over her shoulder. She was free, truly free, for the first time in over a year. 1 year later. Maya stood at the nursery window watching the sunrise. But this time, she wasn't alone. Jonathan was beside her, his arm around her waist. And in her arms was a baby. Not Ethan. A girl. Hope Elizabeth Sterling. Born 3 days ago, 7 pounds 4 ounces. The most beautiful baby Maya had ever seen. She has your eyes, Jonathan whispered. And your nose. Poor thing, Maya laughed. Your nose is perfect. So is everything about you. They stood together watching the sunrise paint the sky. Ethan was asleep in his room down the hall. 2 years old now, walking, talking, getting into everything. Dorothy was asleep in her room across the hall. 80 years old, still sharp, still feisty, still the rock that held them all together. And here they were. A family. Maya thought about everything that had led to this moment. The morning she found Ethan dying in his crib. The terror, the action, the salvation, the threats, the attacks, the danger, the trial, the verdict, the victory, the wedding, the love, the joy, and now this, a new life, a new beginning, a new chapter. What are you thinking? Jonathan asked. I'm thinking about how different my life was 2 years ago, how scared I was, how alone. And now I have everything. Maya looked at him. More than everything. Jonathan kissed her forehead. You deserve it, every bit of it. Do I? More than anyone I've ever known. Maya looked down at Hope, at her tiny face, her perfect features. I used to dream about having a daughter, she said. When I was little, I used to imagine what she would look like, what I would teach her. What would you teach her? Everything my grandmother taught me, how to be strong, how to be kind, how to fight when you need to fight, how to love when you need to love. She's lucky to have you as a mother. I'm lucky to have her as a daughter. Maya looked at Jonathan. I'm lucky to have all of you. 9:00 a.m. A knock on the door. Dorothy came in, holding Ethan's hand. Someone wants to meet his sister. Maya sat down so Ethan could see the baby. He stared at Hope with wide eyes. Baby. Yes, sweetheart. This is your baby sister? Her name is Hope. Hope. He tried out the word, nodded approvingly. I protect Hope. Maya felt tears in her eyes. Yes, baby. You protect Hope, and Hope will protect you. That's what family does. Ethan leaned forward and kissed Hope's forehead. Love you, Hope. The baby yawned, everyone laughed, and Maya knew in that moment that everything she had been through was worth it. Every tear, every scar, every nightmare. It had all led to this family, this love, this life, and she wouldn't change a single thing. 6 months later, the dedication ceremony. Maya stood at the podium looking out at a crowd of hundreds. The Maya Johnson Community Center, her name, on a building, a place where people from her old neighborhood could come for help, job training, childcare, legal assistance. Everything Maya had needed when she was struggling, Jonathan had funded it, but it was her vision, her dream. 2 years ago, Maya began I Was Nobody, A cleaning lady working 3 jobs, barely surviving, invisible. She paused. Then something happened, something that changed everything. I found a dying baby and I saved his life. She looked at the crowd. People call me a hero, but I don't feel like a hero. I just did what anyone would do, what any of us would do when we see someone in danger. She shook her head. The real heroes are the people who fight every day, the single mothers working 2 jobs, the fathers struggling to provide, the grandparents raising grandchildren, the kids studying by candlelight because the electricity is off. Maya felt tears in her eyes. This center is for them, for all of you who have struggled like I struggled, who have felt invisible like I felt invisible, who have dreamed of something better. She smiled through her tears. I'm living proof that those dreams can come true. Not because of luck, not because of charity, but because of strength. Resilience. Faith. She looked at Jonathan in the front row, at Ethan on his lap, at Dorothy beside him and holding hope. I have everything I ever wanted now. A husband who loves me, children who fill my heart, a grandmother who taught me everything I know. She turned back to the crowd. But I will never forget where I came from. I will never forget the struggle, and I will spend the rest of my life making sure that others have the same chances I had. She raised her hand. So I dedicate this center to every person who has ever been told they're not enough. You are enough. You are strong. You are capable. And you can do anything you set your mind to. She smiled. I'm living proof. And now it's your turn. The crowd erupted in applause. Maya stepped away from the podium and into Jonathan's arms. I'm so proud of you, he whispered. I'm proud of us. They held each other while the applause continued, and Maya knew that her story wasn't just hers anymore. It belonged to everyone who had ever struggled, everyone who had ever dreamed, everyone who had ever refused to give up. 1 year later, the courthouse again. But this time, Maya wasn't a witness. She was a lawyer. She had gone back to school, finished her degree, passed the bar, and now she was standing in a courtroom defending a young black woman who had been falsely accused of theft. My client is innocent, Maya said to the jury. The evidence is clear, the witnesses are credible, and the prosecution has not proven its case beyond a reasonable doubt. She looked at the jurors, saw doubt in their eyes. But this case isn't just about evidence, it's about assumption. It's about a young black woman who was automatically suspected because of what she looked like, because of where she came from, because of who she was. Maya's voice was strong, clear. That's not justice, that's prejudice, and it has no place in this courtroom. She sat down. The jury deliberated for 2 hours. They came back with a verdict. Not guilty. Maya's client burst into tears. Thank you, she sobbed. Thank you so much. Maya hugged her. You don't need to thank me. You deserve justice. Everyone does. She walked out of the courthouse. Jonathan was waiting outside Ethan on his shoulders, Hope in his arms. How did it go? Not guilty. Jonathan's face lit up. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Maya kissed him. I'm proud of me too. She had come so far, from cleaning lady to lawyer, from victim to advocate, from nobody to somebody, and she was just getting started. 10 years later. Maya stood at the window of her new office. Maya Sterling, attorney at law. Her own practice. Specializing in criminal defense. Fighting for people who couldn't fight for themselves. Jonathan came in without knocking. Ready for dinner? Almost, just finishing up some notes. He walked over and wrapped his arms around her from behind. You work too hard. I learned from the best. He laughed. Touché. Maya turned in his arms. 12 years of marriage, 3 children now. Ethan was 13, smart and kind, talking about becoming a doctor. Hope was 10, fierce and funny, already talking about becoming a lawyer like her mother. And then there was Marcus, named after Detective Williams, 7 years old and obsessed with superheroes. Dorothy was still alive, 90 years old, still sharp, still feisty, still telling everyone exactly what she thought. Maya had everything, more than everything. Hey, Jonathan said softly, what are you thinking? I'm thinking about how lucky I am. Luck had nothing to do with it. You earned this, Maya, every bit of it. Maybe, but I also had help. I had you, I had Grandma, I had people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Jonathan cupped her face in his hands. And you had yourself, your strength, your courage, your heart. He kissed her gently. Now if I... Never forget that. You saved my son's life with your bare hands. You stood up to killers and criminals. You fought for justice and won. That's not luck. That's character. Maya felt tears in her eyes. "I love you, Jonathan Sterling." "I love you too, Maya Sterling, more than I'll ever be able to say." They held each other. Outside, the sun was setting, another day ending, another chapter closing. But the story was far from over, because Maya Jean Johnson Sterling had learned something in her 44 years on this earth. Life wasn't about where you started, it was about where you ended up, and how many people you helped along the way. She had started with nothing, she had ended up with everything, and she had helped more people than she could count. That was her legacy, that was her story, that was her life. Later that night, Maya sat on the porch watching the stars. Dorothy came out and sat beside her. "Mind if I join you?" "Never, Grandma." Tss. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment. "You know," Dorothy said, "I've been thinking about your mother lately." "Me too." "She would be so proud of you, baby, so proud of everything you've become." "I hope so. I know so." Dorothy took her hand. "But more than that, she would be proud of who you are. Not what you've accomplished, who you are. The kind of person who saves a dying baby without thinking about herself. The kind of person who stands up to evil without backing down. The kind of person who loves with her whole heart and fights with everything she has." Maya squeezed her grandmother's hand. "I learned it from you, Grandma." "You learned some of it from me, but most of it you already had. Inside you. Waiting to come out." Dorothy smiled. "I just helped you see it." They sat together watching the stars. "Grandma." "Yes, baby." "Thank you." "For what?" "For everything. For raising me, for believing in me, for being here through all of it." "Tamaya Mimi," Dorothy's eyes glistened. "That's what family does, baby. We show up, we stand together, we never give up." "Never give up. Never give up." Maya leaned her head on her grandmother's shoulder, and she knew in that moment that this was what life was all about. Not money, not fame, not success, love, family, faith. Everything else was just details. The final scene. Maya was 65 years old. She stood at her mother's grave, flowers in her hand. Beside her stood Ethan, now 40, a surgeon saving lives every day. Hope, 37, a civil rights lawyer continuing Maya's work. Marcus, 34, a teacher inspiring the next generation. And grandchildren. 6 of them. Running and playing among the headstones. Jonathan stood behind her, his hair gray, but his love unchanged. Dorothy had passed 5 years ago, peacefully, in her sleep, at 95 years old. Maya still missed her every day. "Hi, Mama," Maya said to the headstone. "It's been a while since I visited." She placed the flowers down. "I brought the family. They wanted to meet their great-grandmother. The woman who started it all." She paused. "I never told you while you were alive, Mama, but I remember everything you taught me. How to be strong, how to be kind, how to love without limits." She felt tears streaming down her face. "I tried to pass it on to Ethan, to Hope, to Marcus, and now to their children." She looked at her family. "I hope I made you proud, Mama. I hope I lived up to everything you dreamed for me." Jonathan stepped forward and put his arm around her. "She would be proud, Maya, I guarantee it." Maya leaned against him. "How do you know what?" "Because I'm proud. Because everyone who knows you is proud. Because you have touched more lives and changed more hearts than anyone I've ever known." He kissed her temple. "Your mother is watching right now, and she's smiling." Maya looked up at the sky. Maybe he was right. Maybe somewhere up there her mother was watching. Her mother, and Dorothy, and everyone who had loved her and believed in her. Maybe they were all watching, all proud, all smiling. "Thank you, Mama," Maya whispered, "for giving me life, for teaching me to fight, for loving me even when you couldn't be here." She turned to her family. "Let's go home." They walked together through the cemetery. 3 generations of Sterlings, bound by blood, by love, by history. And Maya knew as she walked with them that her story was complete, not because it was ending, but because it was continuing, in Ethan's healing hands, in Hope's fighting spirit, in Marcus's guiding heart, in her grandchildren's laughter and dreams. The story would go on, long after she was gone, and that was the greatest legacy of all. Maya Jean Johnson Sterling had been born with nothing. She had faced poverty, lost danger, and Dalcon death. She had saved a dying baby with her bare hands. She had stood against killers and won. She had loved deeply and been loved deeply in return. She had raised 3 children who would change the world. She had lived a life of courage, compassion, and strength. And now walking home with her family under the fading sun, she understood the truth. It was never about where you came from. It was about where you chose to go. It was never about what happened to you. It was about what you did with it. And Maya Jean Johnson Sterling had done something remarkable. She had turned tragedy into triumph. She had turned fear into faith. She had turned nothing into everything. And that was her story. From cleaning lady to legend. From nobody to somebody. From invisible to unforgettable. Maya Jean Johnson Sterling had lived, truly lived, and that made all the difference.